pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this evening, basically, it's a workshop for the budget, so that's all the only business we'll be doing. Okay? And
Is this yours?
no, I think that's yours. I have to get mine out of my bag. So, as our treasurer, Jan, would you like to run the rodeo?
I'd happy to do that if that's what you'd like.
Yes, I would love that. You can explain your process and what you've done, and then we'll start looking at the line items, okay?
Okay, so
Great, thanks.
the budget that is available on the orange sheet that has the extra black lines on it, this one is the one that has all of the different possibilities on here. This is the received in FY26, which is in fact the default budget, the FY27 request by the library director and her notes, the FY27 request by myself, which is, has not been approved by the board, the difference between myself and the FY27, and then, that's the first one is from FY26, and the second is from FY27, Aaron's numbers, and then the information on the treasurer's notes. So, because the COLAs were in or out, this past year we received $684 from
684,000.
yeah, $684,884, and in the 2025 budget, which for some reason I didn't get on there, is $664,129. So I did an increase of 104% from the 2026 totals. The 2026 total did include the full 32,500 or 300 and whatever budget for the children's librarian position, and the money for the other position. It's 4% above is what I had recommended. Aaron's recommendation is 7.8%. I guess it's 7%. 6.5, 6, and
You're talking for the total budget, not just for those line items,
no,
right?
I'm talking for your line items. My total
At the
budget.
salary, you're talking salary right now, right?
I'm talking salary. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
we're
go
looking at
on
the
line.
salary right now. Yeah.
If you want to talk total, we can talk total. I'm sorry.
No, we should go line by line, I think.
Okay, so that's for regular salaries. The children's librarian position is in the part-time salaries. So in fiscal year 2025, the approved amount is $396,250. The 2025 actuals. Well, we don't have the actuals. Well, we do.
I'm sorry, I
Actuals.
got lost. Did we just discuss the two, the full-time and the regular? I mean, the full-time and part-time?
I'm in the part-time right now.
That's, okay, thank you.
Okay?
Go ahead, yep,
So
thanks
part-time
very much.
salaries, which is where the
396,250.
right, $396,250, but this is where the children's librarian position is included in that. And the librarian's request is $413,222, and my request is $412,100. So there's a difference of $1,122 between the two.
I have different I'm looking at different numbers. I'm confused then too. Oh, okay. I see where you are now.
I'm just going right across.
Okay.
If you use the white one,
It's
if you
hard
use the
because
white
the sheets
one,
look very similar. so
if you use the
change
white
it.
one, you can just kind of do something like that. And, you know, you turn one page over and you can kind of, you know, you can kind of do this, and then you can kind of see where you are.
Okay. Yeah, they do the same colors on them, so it's
Yeah.
confusing.
Can we have discussion now that we're talking, we're looking at just salary now, okay?
Right now, regular salaries and the part-time salaries.
And I guess my first question, and I would direct that at Patrick, and Kate's here too, right? Yeah. The question I have is that following our lawyers' instructions, we've restructured the policy for the personnel policy, and it's going to be voted on. This budget's probably going to get passed before it's voted on. So what we haven't done, when this is built with all the expenses for COLA and for merit, if that's removed, then there'll be, that would be a savings on this. To the budget, yes.
Well, what I can speak to is, I think 2 or 3 years ago, we reduced the merit increase from 5% to 3.5%, and that was a recommendation the budget committee made to the trustees. We did not make that change, or the change was not made in the budget until the policy was changed. Because if, in the event that the policy did not get voted and wasn't approved, we don't want to change the budget for an unapproved policy. And so Byron said, I'll take that back to the board. He did, it was passed, and then it was changed afterwards. But I would be leery about making changes in the budget before a policy has been approved, because that historically has how that process
It was the merit, right?
Yeah, that's what, the merit and COLA, yeah.
Yes.
That's what, actually I was going in that direction.
Yes.
I think we need to cover ourselves so that the budget, if those changes aren't made, then I think we need to cover ourselves. My only concern is that, if we have that extra money because of that at the end of the, budget year, I want to see that go back to the town.
Yeah, well, we've made changes, it's only October, right? So we can make changes to the budget up until basically the deliberative session in February. So the budget
we
will
will know by
change
then for sure.
several months, back and forth as it goes. So in my opinion, I think what is in the current policy should be what we keep in the budget for now, and then it can be changed later on down the road if need be. But
Patrick, do you concur with that, or would you like?
I concur entirely with Kate. I think that was very well said.
Yep.
Then, in my opinion, that's the right way to go. And that's, I think we should leave that right now in the policy, in the budget.
Yep.
Depending what happens to the policy.
Yep.
Okay?
Erin had
Comments? Yes.
So, a couple of things, Madam Chair, if I may, Madam Chair. You keep speaking, you spoke just a moment ago about changes to the COLA, but the last meeting you said there were no changes to the COLA. So, I know we have to explore that with the personnel policy, but I just want to, so the audience understands, is there going to be a change in the COLA?
My understanding is that it's not going to be included, but it should be considered as an employer. Okay, the only reason they said, the lawyer suggested not writing it into the budget is that if you end up, like they take money away from you, you don't get the budget you're anticipating, where are you going to, they said the only way you can do it is cut your costs to be, if you've committed in the policy, in the budget, the personnel policy.
But the personnel policy hasn't been committed to anything yet, right now.
No, and that's why we're not, that's why we're not gonna change it right now.
Okay, so my other question is, if we're voting line by line, which I think it seems like we are, is the proposal on the table right now to go with my suggestion or Jan's? I got lost, that's the only reason I'm asking.
Well, your suggestion does not include both of those merits and.
It does. It does. That, I worked with Justin on that. So they include both the COLA, and if everyone were to get a merit, that's what that includes. And that's to prepare for, if everyone does get a merit, then that budget is prepared well. If they don't, then yes, there would be some extra money, but that's just how it's worked. We can't anticipate what merit someone's going to get. So
we need to right now vote on what we anticipate the rules are right now.
Exactly. I agree with you. I just don't know.
Yes.
So mine does represent that. However, I know Justin did put forth a default budget as well, which I would recommend going with that default budget for the salaries, is what I'm speaking of.
Okay, and within the default budget, did it address COLA and merit?
It did.
And did it leave it in or change the?
It left it in because that's what currently is actual right now.
Okay,
That's
so,
684,884, that's the default.
yep.
I was gonna say, could we ask
No,
Jan,
it's this one.
could we
This
ask
one
Jan
is
to
the
clarify
default.
maybe how she got her numbers and why they're different than Erin's then? Just wondering if we could ask.
Sure.
Okay.
I used 0.4% as an increase instead of 6.5%, which is what the COLA plus the maximum merit for everybody would be.
So you said you used 4?
I used 4%.
Why did you use the 4? Was that because of the anticipated potential cut?
I just used, yes, because of the anticipated potential cut of the COLA and the merit. So I used 4% versus, which is more than the 3% COLA. I figured there's going to be might be a change in the COLA, and so that's where I calculated it.
I guess my
Madam Chair,
question is, go ahead.
I mean, with all due respect, I think we have to plan for a budget that with the highest potential, which would be the 6.5%. And then, again, as Kate said, we can make those adjustments later if that change does happen in the personnel policy. I'm concerned with putting forth a budget that is not what potentially could happen because it will leave our budget in a really tough situation. I'm sorry.
No. Right now, you said you're using 6.5%.
Yes.
Is the COLA 3.5%?
No, the COLA is 3.
Oh, it's
the
3.
highest merit
And
is
I-
3.5.
Okay, all right.
So
what I
that's
wanted to
if
clarify.
everybody,
Yeah.
if nothing changes in the personnel policy and everybody gets whatever they deserve, so everyone's gonna get the 3% COLA, this is in a world current. Everyone would get the 3% COLA, and then if everyone does well, then they would get their 3.5 merit.
Okay.
That's a plan for the potential good.
Yes, yes.
It's not always that case, but we can't plan for not that just in case. We have to plan for the highest so that we can be prepared. And as Kate mentioned, we can always make those changes later on. We have plenty of time to adjust if the board ends up voting that through.
Okay, and I understand it perfectly.
Okay.
You clarified it, that's what I just needed. Nancy?
That was essentially what I was going to say. I think when we're preparing budgets, we've all been at this for a while, sometimes it's easier to go down rather than up. Once you've set a budget at X number of dollars, it's more challenging to add back. But to Kate's point, this is like a living document and we can adjust it if need be. That's item number 1. Item number 2 is I would not want to see us offer anything less than COLA, because we have employees, they have budgets as well. So, and in an effort to keep our environment competitive, if you will, I would think that we would want our COLA not to be lower than, Kate, what's it called, CPI?
Yeah, consumer price index.
Right, we wouldn't want it to be lower than that.
And you were on the subcommittee that reviewed what Hannah said.
I was not.
Oh, you were not, okay, I'm sorry,
That's all
I'm
right.
sorry.
No.
Helen
yes,
was.
Yes.
You were?
What Hannah sent us. Yes.
Oh,
You-
I beg
two
your
It was
Saturdays
you
ago.
Yes,
and,
yes,
and
yes.
Jan
Yes.
and Helen.
You
Yes.
used the word budget, I was like,
Yeah.
no, I wasn't there.
No,
You're
not
talking
a
about
budget, no.
personnel
Yeah.
policy.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I was.
personnel policy, yeah.
Yes.
So, and I think her idea was that you don't write it into the policy that you have to do it because you may not be able to afford to do it. But by the same token, I got the impression that it was like, it's either one of them is up to the employer, up to the company, you want to say,
Right.
to allow that to
Correct,
happen.
but we have to have money to offer.
Yes, so I'm suggesting the same thing, that
Yes.
we should go with the
Yes.
budget that would meet that
Yes.
financial need
100%.
best.
We keep talking about Hannah's advice, but again, unless the whole board has seen Hannah's advice, it will make it very hard for us to all be on the same page.
I will,
So
tonight,
please
I
do
will,
that. Thank you.
tonight I will send that out to you, I promise,
Thank you.
okay? So you'll get
Am I
that.
the only one that hasn't seen it yet?
No,
No.
Okay, because this is so important for all of us to be on the same page. And again,
Yeah.
the personnel policy has not been written, so we have to write this as if we're not making any changes.
Any changes?
So
Yeah.
we have to build our budget.
yeah,
for
because
the
it
best
hasn't,
of-
it's been written, not passed,
Yeah, we have.
yeah.
hasn't even been written yet. It's
There's,
a whole
there's
other
a
thing.
committee that wrote the
Okay,
policy.
that's a whole nother ballgame, but
Helen,
Jan, I appreciate you explaining that, thank you.
Mhm.
That helps, and I think hearing now Erin's perspective and knowing what we know from Kate and from Patrick, that we should stick with Erin's numbers to make sure we account for that then.
would you like to?
Sure, I'd like to make a motion that we use the
No,
numbers.
Helen,
No,
hold on a second.
no.
What?
Oh, Donna, sorry.
I said to stick with Justin's numbers.
So
Oh,
we were
fine.
talking about the default number, which is on this, it's not on
Oh.
the same spreadsheet.
oops, sorry.
The blue after, the blue line document. So Justin prepared an FY '27 default budget that the regular salary number is 707,974, and the part-time salary number is 406,057.
What line item is that?
It's right at the top there, the two top.
Oh, got it, yep.
And just so we're all clear.
It's the blue one?
Yep, it's,
What
Yes.
two top numbers?
And those do.
707,
Those numbers-
974,
Yep, and then the 406 right below it.
and what's
So-
on yours, what, did you have it on yours? What's on yours?
So Justin, this came out after I did mine, so I had for the.
691, 459?
Mm-mm.
Nope, the 706, 698, so mine was just a little bit lower, and then the 413 was mine, and this one is 406, so it was a little bit higher, but, I would go with Justin's numbers. I believe changes have been made after I did mine. There were some numbers that he received that were more accurate.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we use the numbers for part-time and regular salaries that are on the default budget.
Second.
Discussion, anyone? What is the budget? I'd like to hear from the budget committee. Does
I'm
that
okay
seem?
with the default budgets, especially if they came from Justin. I trust Justin finance-wise with a lot, so.
And Patrick?
I have no reason to dispute the default budget, given that we only got one number. I don't know what the breakdown is. I went into it, so I'll go with Justin.
Okay, then we have a nomination. I'd like to call for a vote. Beth?
Aye, Beth Marco.
No, Jan McLaughlin.
Yes, Helen Palmieri.
Yes, Nancy Hendricks.
Yes, Liz Thomas.
What about Maura?
Okay.
Oh, Maura, I'm sorry, Maura.
1 second, I'm adding.
Yeah, she's doing the math. I should have done that.
Madam Chair, is it okay
Yes.
to make a quick comment in between?
Go right ahead, because, so,
Just very quickly,
Yeah.
for the purpose of information, the CPI as of the end of August 2025 is 2.9%. That's rolling 12 months from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And as I do my math, the change in the default suggested budget from the town director, 685,884, is the change. That divided by the 2026 budget. I'll have to get back to you, but so far I'm calculating that it's just over 3%. The change. Okay.
and the CPI is at 2.9.
2.9. That's
2.9?
not seasonally adjusted. though. That's a
2.9.
rolling 12 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
2.9.
So we'll,
Just to give people a little
it's
bit of
close.
So we're in the
Yeah.
ballpark is what you're saying.
It's in the
Yes.
ballpark. Okay. And Maura,
Ready to vote?
when you're ready?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, motion passed.
All right.
It's going to the budget department, so they're gonna, the
Approve
budget
Justin,
committee,
yeah.
they're gonna look at it, I'm sure. Okay, Jan,
Yep, just a second.
yeah,
Okay. All right, so there's those two numbers. So, the next couple of numbers are numbers that we don't change because those are provided by the town. We come down to tuition reimbursement. That remains the same as was requested in FY '26, and both Aaron and I stayed with that number. So that's kind of staying straight. The next one, workers' comp, again, that's
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, Jan, are we voting on each line?
if they're,
No.
yes, if, it did, no, if like the salaries, you vote one thing. Now, this section here, okay, we've talked about tuition reimbursement, and it was there's some other things we can roll in it?
Well,
that-
tuition reimbursement is exactly the same, no
Yeah,
matter which,
but
where we
what
go.
I'm saying,
I
you
just
know,
didn't, the only reason I was asking, I didn't know if other people had any input on that. That's the only reason I was
That's
asking.
fine.
But
it's no change to it, yeah, right. So, what is the next thing after tuition reimbursement?
Oh, well, workers' comp, we don't change.
No, we can't, yeah, the uncontrollables,
Yeah, we should vote on tuition reimbursement before we get into management services.
Okay.
because
I
that's
actually
where-
recommended the what you spent in fiscal year 2025, which is about $225 higher, just to reflect the reality. I think if we're building budgets, it should reflect the reality of what actually gets spent. You know, that's where that balancing comes from, right? Like if you have $40,000 budgeted in one line item over 3 years, but every year you only spend 30, you really shouldn't be budgeting $40,000 every year for that. This is one of those that seems to always be a little bit higher based on prior fiscal years as well, so I just thought it should at least meet what was spent in fiscal year 2025. But that was my only difference between what Erin presented and what Jan presented. So
that-
Okay, so
well,
we're
it
looking
bounced
at
all
the
over place.
47.7 is
So-
what you're talking about right now,
Well,
right?
I think,
Am I on the right line?
Yeah,
Madam-
tuition
yeah,
reimbursement,
yes.
we're looking at.
Which form, yeah.
Tuition reimbursement. On the orange form.
Yeah, I'm
going
on the
down
orange with,
And looking
yeah,
across.
that's what
okay?
it is, yeah.
Tuition reimbursement, the
47, yeah,
account
I
number
like it.
is
47, yeah.
4240-000.
Yep, no,
Okay?
I'm there, 47.70, that's what I was
Okay,
saying.
and that's
So,
4770 is what I've also.
Yeah. And Kate, your figure was?
mine was 4,995 to reflect what was spent in fiscal year 25. It was about $225 higher, just to reflect the reality of spending, so.
Okay, and Erin, you had a question, you had a?
no, I was just gonna clarify that I didn't know if we wanted to, those are the two numbers I feel like are up in the air right now.
Yes,
The
yeah.
4770 and the 4995.
And we're only
So
talking what,
I didn't get
two,
225, I think she said.
225
So
different?
I didn't know if we wanted to do a vote on, or discussion on which number the board wanted to vote on, but that was my only, because I just wanted to make sure we included Kate's suggestion.
Jan?
I think that it has bounced around for actual versus, we have been way up in 2023, it was much lower in 2022, it was higher in 2024, and 2025, you know, so, I don't know, it's.
Are you comfortable adding the $295?
Well, the problem is, I understand it's only $200 and some dollars.
Yeah.
But every time you add dollars in, it affects everything, you know, going across. So, I have no problem doing it as long as we realize that we've got other areas that are in deeper yogurt perhaps, that may be a problem.
Beth?
I'd like to remind people though, it's a fraction of a penny per household. Like a fraction of a fraction. Like it doesn't even add up. So you're not gonna miss it. Like,
Yes, Nancy?
So, I think it's kind of pointless to spend 20 or 30 minutes talking about $225. So I would actually like to make a motion that we accept or move forward with the $4,995, and if we need to adjust it later, we can adjust it later.
I think your number's off, you said 4,400.
No, 4,995 is what.
She said 9.
I did. Would you like me to do that? I make a motion that we go with the recommendation prepared by our director for $4,995.00. Was that
Second.
It's
clear?
actually from the.
That was Kate's
right.
recommendation.
Oh, it's in your budget.
Yeah, that's what we spent last year.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, Laura?
Come back to me.
Okay,
I, Beth Marco.
No, Jan McLaughlin.
Yes, Helen Palmieri.
no Liz Thomas?
Yes, Nancy Hendricks.
I'm torn on this because we've had different situations and reasoning for those different variances in those years.
Well, I think the vote passed though, right?
No,
Yeah.
she hasn't voted.
She hasn't
Oh,
voted yet.
I mean,
No,
she
it's
should still be
you-
able to vote, but.
No, yeah, but it's not gonna change
Oh,
what
yeah.
the outcome
No,
is.
that's
Well,
fine.
they
Yeah,
still need to
Beth,
vote.
you wanna,
You still need to.
No.
vote.
Oh,
all right,
Laura did,
then
yeah.
I'm going to vote no.
okay, so we have
So it was 3 to 3 then.
3 to 3, so the motion doesn't pass. So,
So now what?
now,
No,
How could it be free?
it's not 3 to 3.
there's only
It's
one.
4. It's 4 to 2.
Yeah.
2 to 4.
It did
No.
pass.
It did.
Okay.
It did
My
pass.
bad then. My bad.
I think it didn't pass, right?
No.
It did pass.
Let's vote yes or no.
Liz voted no.
Right.
I voted no.
You voted no, okay.
Oh,
I think
okay,
you
I
voted
thought-
no.
Maura voted no.
Got it, okay.
Jan, what did you
No.
voted no. So
Right.
that's 3-3.
Right.
That's what
Okay.
I'm
Which is
saying.
what I said at first.
It didn't pass,
Look,
but
we'll
that,
try.
that leaves us with, do you
Four.
want to suggest going what we have then?
Yes, I
No,
guess we'll
go
go
ahead.
forward.
I make a
with that.
motion that we just keep the number as is, just to keep things moving,
That's what I'm
4,770, and we'll
Right.
revisit it at
Second.
another time if
Second.
necessary.
Okay, so,
Oh,
Roll call
Oh,
vote for
wait.
that,
okay,
please.
right?
did you want to have discussion
Yes.
more, Jan?
Nope.
Okay, Maura, roll call.
Yes.
Yes, Beth Marika.
Yes, Jan McLaughlin.
Yes, Helen Palmieri.
Yes, Liz Thomas.
Yes, Nancy
Okay.
Hendricks.
Motion, okay, that motion passed,
Okay, workers' comp, again, that's a number
You
which is
can't do
provided
that.
to us,
Yep.
that's 4260, so we're gonna skip down to management services. This is where there is a organizational change here, because management services was the line where all of the program, well, most of the program expenses, got, put. And the other ones were broken out, and we'll see them later in the time. So, when it says received, 21,481 in fiscal year, 2026, the default number for this one is, management services, I'm sorry.
21,481.
Yes, again, it's the same number there in this case. All right. But the request for the by the director is 4,314, and that's because the program expenses are in another set of lines, and this is basically the swag that is given, that is bought for various programs. By that I just mean all the things that we give out.
The frisbees, the playing cards, things like that.
Right,
Yeah,
frisbees, playing cards, whatever.
that are used for promotion for our summer
Right.
programs, right?
Well, not just summer programs, but
Yeah.
$4,314, and I recommended $4,000, which I just thought 4,000 was okay. I say we'll see how it breaks out as we get down to the rest of the management services, which are further down.
So I just,
Erin?
can
Oh,
I just
go
want to get it, so that was just your opinion, that wasn't based on anything financial, that was your opinion? You felt that $4,000 was enough for quote swag?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't financial.
Yeah, no, it was just,
Okay.
you
Yeah,
know, it
I
was a
get it.
number.
Erin,
Couple of things. The $4,000 that you recommend, other things come out of that line item even after we remove those programs than just swag. So $4,000 wouldn't cover, if you gave me $4,000 for swag, nothing else would be covered. And I wouldn't spend $4,000 on swag. I'd spend it on the other necessary things. The other thing I just wanted to mention is that we spoke at another meeting, I believe it was the last meeting, and I apologize, I'm not 100% sure, that separating the line items out and pulling money from the line items to put in separate line items could be very risky. There was a suggestion, I believe it was by Justin, to create those line items but put $0 in them so that we don't have that risk of losing all that money if we go into default. So we could do that this year, is create those line items with a 0, and then next year separate them out so that they wouldn't have the risk of losing in default. Certainly that, if the budget committee wants to speak to that, but I think that might be a healthy recommendation, is to create those line items with 0 in them, keep the money in management, and then next year separate them out.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But certainly.
the other, I guess my opinion is that any risk that you have this year is gonna be the same thing every year. So
Well, no, because
No,
those
this
line
year's a
items will
change.
already be in the default for the next year.
The next year.
So we wouldn't have the risk of losing them because they'd be in there for a full year with
Okay.
no dollar
Okay,
amount.
yeah. Any questions? Yes, Jan.
So what other things besides the swag comes out of this management line?
I believe it listed in mine. It says online calendar, a museum pass system, the movie license, annual fee, and signage.
Okay, and all
And
we're
a number of
dis-
other
yeah.
random things, but
All we're discussing right now is this one line now.
yes, that's the stuff that comes out of that
Yeah, we're
line
not
item.
talking about Justin's suggestion of the
But that,
management.
this line
Yeah.
item affects those line items.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's why I brought it up.
Okay.
But
Okay, so did we have a motion, right? No,
Not yet.
I didn't make a motion.
no, I don't think there was a motion.
Okay, does anyone, Jen, do you wanna discuss, anything more on that?
No?
Okay.
Jan, can I ask a follow-up
Yeah.
question? So I just wanna make sure I understand then, because, so that you, I'm trying to keep all my copies straight here.
Mm-hmm.
So you only have the 4,000 in here
Mm-hmm.
because you have the other things accounted for somewhere else because of the line item change?
Correct, I split it out.
Okay.
Aaron's
Just wanna make sure.
asked for $4,314, and I asked for $314 less.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that we weren't cutting it by the 17, that number is just being
Mm-mm.
accounted for somewhere else. Okay, just clarifying for myself.
Kate, any ideas on that?
Well, my concern is, I kept my number was the same as Erin's number, for the fact that it's not just swag, it is the museum pass, it is the online calendaring system, it is a couple of other subscription things that don't really fit anywhere else. And so I kept the number the same as Erin's.
So therefore,
You're talking
My take-
4,314?
Correct, yes, my
yeah,
number was.
my take is that that's a real figure,
Yes,
not like an imaginary, oh, it'd be nice to leave an even number.
yes.
Okay, Patrick, I'm sorry, I want to just have your opinion.
No comment.
No comment, okay. Yeah, Nancy? Donna?
I just wanted to ask Kate and Patrick if you're okay with it, to comment on the risk of losing the money in default.
I'd like some clarification on that too.
The separating the line.
Because I feel like we've spent so much time talking about making sure we get numbers into correct lines.
Yes.
And that we're on the precipice of getting there, but now
Yes.
I'm concerned when I hear this extra piece, and I want to make sure I'm clear.
Yes.
I think we just should go with what's here, what Erin suggested, that's what I think.
to educate
Because
the
it was,
board
it was a real figure, it
risk.
was a real number.
Is it okay if
But
Kate just explains
the
to
risk
help us
management.
understand about the default part?
Yes.
Would that be okay if Kate,
Yes,
Kate
of
or
course.
Patrick, whoever, I
Yes.
guess,
Yeah.
for my own understanding.
So the default budget is generally based off of what last year's budget was, plus increases that are contractually obligated. So if one of these, like the calendar systems and museum passes, for example, we are contractually obligated to pay for them like once a year, every 3 years, and we had a contractual term, that would now be included in the default budget. If it weren't, it would just be whatever it was last year. And so the risk to that is, as we're splitting some of these things out and we're saying this will now be part of the default budget, if the default budget passes and it wasn't part of the default budget because now we split it into a new line item, you could lose that money because it's now a different category that never existed before. So you would get what was ever in the management line services last year, but that may not be adequate for some of the other changes that are made, so.
Erin?
Just to be clear, that system that we speak of, the event calendar museum pass system, is last year we paid $1,600 for it. So that would be a healthy chunk of that 4,000.
Patrick, any comments on that?
I have nothing to add to what Kate says. I remind everyone that Kate is an experienced member of the Budget Committee. This is my first year, so I will defer to
Kate's
her
the
more
senior budget
qualified
member this
summary.
evening.
Thank you.
That's a smart move.
Okay,
So,
any more discussions
Yes,
before we
so,
make, yeah, go
so,
ahead.
in Erin's number, if 1,500 is the actual cost of the calendaring program,
16.
1,500.
16.
1,600, okay. 1,600.
There's 100 more.
Then you've got 2714. 20.
Comes to 4314.
But we also have a movie license annual fee and other random things that come out of that line item. So it would just mean that would be less for swag, which is what, if the board wants that, that's totally fine. But my job would be to pay those contractual payments first
Yep.
before I buy swag.
Yep.
And if you're talking about museum passes and things like that, I don't consider that a swag, you know?
No, it's not.
It's-
This is just the database that controls the reservation for that.
Oh, yeah.
So this is not museum
It's not
passes.
the
This
Okay.
is just the database that
database.
houses them and allows our public to request them through online along with the,
So it's a
events
service.
calendar.
It's
Yes.
a service we're
Yep.
talking about.
Yep, it
Okay.
allows our public to see what we're doing.
Yes.
So, Madam Chair, I would make a motion that we go with the recommendation from the director for this line item, 4330-000 of $4,314.
Second.
Second, okay, roll call, Laura?
Yes. Yes, Beth Rappo.
Yes, Jan McLaughlin.
Yes, Helen Palmieri.
Yes, Liz Thomas.
Yes, Nancy Hendricks.
Well, it took a long time to come to a yes. Great, we're gonna keep moving along. I think we'll be out of here before midnight.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm gonna write that down.
Hallelujah.
Let me
Yes.
go to custodial services. The FY '26, we received 28,367. The budget in 2025 was 27,540. So, Erin had recommended 31,201, and she is anticipating a 3% increase, or the cleaners in looking at a 3% increase. And, I did 2% more than actual 2025. So that's how I calculated my number.
And so your number?
My number is $28,091, which is a difference of $276 from the received in FY '26 and, not received, but anticipate or approved in 2026. There we go. And the difference from the director is $3,110.
Discussion, yes, Nancy.
Sure, so I actually think that this is a fair number in terms of the director's recommendation, because I too hire cleaning committees or companies, and this is actually a very modest increase. I just prepared a budget for my company, and my cleaning service went up 8.5%. So you're exactly right.
So in the
That's-
real world, this is a realistic.
This is a very,
It's
very attractive.
attractive.
I will take this in a minute.
You come at night and clean.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am. So I think that this is a fair recommendation.
Erin?
Just to clarify my number, so in the past, or this year even, we took the carpet and upholstery cleaning out of maintenance and repairs. I'm putting it into custodial services because I feel like it is a custodial service. It's not by our custodial company, but it could be, or we could just hire out like we did this year. So that's why there was that additional funding in there, was to move that amount toward there, and also include, as Jan mentioned, the 3% increase. My cleaning company did say they were gonna do that to us this year, and they did not yet. So I definitely anticipate it for next year. And I also anticipate, I give a 2% increase for the carpet cleaning, because in case we go with this past year, the board voted on a particular company, there could be another vote for a different company, so to anticipate that increase. So that's where my increases came from for that line item, just to clarify where I came up with that number. I am curious, Jan, why you went less on ours from what we received.
Because I calculated it from 2% of the 2025 actual, that's all.
Okay.
I do think it makes sense to, I think it's properly placing, the cleaning into that line number. I think it was probably not in the right line number before.
And you know what, if she comes in next year under, then we just give it back to the taxpayers.
They'll be so happy.
You'll be so happy.
I'm happy. I belong to this town, okay?
And I've already cut down, just so the board knows, we used to get the carpet cleaning and upholstery cleaning, actually Donna can speak to this because it was like this when I came in, twice a year. I've cut it down to once a year for savings, so I am trying to look at those savings and see where I can save it. It's not a huge amount of money saved, but it is, could be a couple grand a year, it could just cutting it down to once a year, so that's my.
Which we appreciate, yes.
So, Madam Chair, I would make a motion that we move forward with the director's recommendation of $31,201 for line item 4360-00.
Second.
Roll call. We're gonna start here, Nancy.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, no?
Beth Moracle, yes.
Maura Ryan, yes. Okay, motion passed.
Okay. Electrical services, 4410 is the account number. The FY 27 request is for, by FY 26 received is $40,211. Request by the librarians is $41,418. Mine is $40,168, and I did a 3% over the 2025 actual. So that's what it is.
Well, go ahead.
So I actually looked at electricity costs per the Fed Bank and the Bureau of Labor Statistics from the government. And over the last 5 years, we have the average price of electricity has gone up 6.77%. So my recommendation is based off of the 6.7%, not 3%, because the rising cost of energy is actually greater than 3%. And I would hate for the library not to be able to cool the building in the summer or have to keep temps higher than would be normally comfortable because they're worried about energy bills. So my recommendation was slightly higher than Erin's. It was $42,933.28. So $1,515.28 higher than Erin's.
42 what?
The Bureau of Labor Statistics, they put out the average cost of energy as part of the CPI calculation. Over the last 5 years, the average cost of energy has gone up 6.77%. In 2020 to 2021, it was 5.4. 2021 to 2022, it was 15.96. 2022 to 2023, it was 2.23%. 2023 to 2024, it was 4.02. 2024 to 2025, it was 6.19, so the average of that is 6.77. So.
And what was your figure?
It was $42,933.28.
Jan, go ahead.
So, there has been some cost savings that we have come across with the change in the heating and cooling sensors that has happened. So I don't know if we need to go up the full 6.9%. But so that's one of the issues with the numbers.
I'd like to see it keep clean at what we had 42.9 something, just at 43. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm retired from National Grid. I know that the prices are going up. I've already been told that, and they're already negotiating with the to get a bigger, a higher
Rate
price
increase.
Yeah. Yes.
I agree.
Huh?
I'm concurring with you.
It's happening now.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, even in my building, our costs have gone up.
Yeah.
So I would rather be safe than sorry.
So I just was saying instead of 42.90,
Oh, make it 43.
make it 43,
Yeah.
round it up. That's
Yeah.
what I was just saying.
Okay.
Make it clean.
Yeah.
Yes, Erin.
I just wanted to, agree with what you're recommending, but also keep in mind that there was discussion, I believe, before we reached in the summer, where how we cut our summer hours because it's not as busy, blah, 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 we will discuss that.
Mm-hmm.
So if the board does decide to put those not cut summer hours, this could affect that cost as well. So
Sure.
I think to keep that in mind, if the board decides that we don't want to do summer hours and we keep the hours full as we do throughout the year, that's a number that could be affected by this. So
Okay.
just to keep that in mind. So I'm still comfortable with the 43 right now because we don't know what that increase from
Yeah.
electric will be exactly. But keep that in mind for going forward. The board might want to just have that in the back of the head as we go forward to deciding next summer. So
Nancy?
So I agree in planning and being safe than sorry. And so I would agree with you. I'm going to make a motion that we increase this line item 4410-000 to $43,000.
Second.
Roll call, Nancy.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Pellery, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Beth Markle, yes.
Maura Ryan, no.
Okay.
So it was 42,000 even?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
43,000.
Thank you.
43,000, not 43, but yes.
43, yes.
43, yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
43,000.
Thank you, Kate, for that information.
You're welcome.
So,
Yes.
Heating and oil services. This is traditionally an area where we have quite a bit of room from the approved to actual. In 2023, the budget was 22,677, and we spent 14,204.69. In 2024, it was 23 and change, and we spent 13,900. In 2025, it was 23,100, and we spent actual
15,237.
15,237. So this is an area that I think we need to right size a little better.
Yeah.
And so Erin asked for $3,000 from this line from 2026 be moved to electronic books and databases. I just went with going above the amount that we actually spent in 2025, and so I went with 16,000.
I'm sorry, what was the figure?
16,000.
16? Thank you.
And
Okay.
versus 2131, which is what Erin had recommended.
Well, traditionally, apparently, the last 3 or 4 years, we've been over budgeting on that.
In this line, yes.
In this line number particularly. Erin?
I just want to point out that, yes, I did recognize that we've been over budgeting in this line item, and that's why I moved that money to a different line item where we could really use it. I think it's been said to me by not only the public, but members on this board, that I tend to stash money into this line item. I do not. It was more of a preparation for those costs going up and what that could anticipate. And this was, again, a number that the board did vote on and move forward with. So my intent was not to stash money in this line or keep it as a moment where I could spend it somewhere else. It was to prepare for any increases. Traditionally, it looks like those increases have not happened, and that's why I'm offering to move some of that money to a line item that would be more useful and more well spent. So I recognize that we were kind of underspent in that line, and I'm trying to make it right. So I do not stash money in this line.
Okay.
That's all I want to say.
So, your suggestion is,
I'm just,
was 20,131?
yes,
And that's just for
okay.
heat.
and that's just for heat,
Into-
and
yeah.
then,
The
but
difference for the 3,000, you're hoping to go into management services?
nope, hoping to go into electronic books and databases.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So because that
Yeah,
is where
that's
that
in
money
line.
is needed. So
Okay.
that was, instead of just removing that money altogether, I felt it could be useful in a different line.
Okay, we're still at the quandary of, you're saying 20,000.
I'm saying 20,000, and I believe Jan
was saying
I said
15.
16,000.
Oh,
16,1600.
Yeah,
just for heat.
I mean, and we have never spent that much money on heating.
Not in the last, no.
The average home oil heating price has, over the last 5 years, because again, you don't want to look at big swings year
Yeah.
over year, about 9% increase over the last 5 years.
How much?
9%?
I thought she said 90.
No, 9.
We'd all be freezing.
Do we do
Nice.
oil or do we do
Patrick,
propane?
Yeah.
Patrick, did
Heart palpitations.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
sorry.
comfortable with Erin's
Or
number, given
propane.
that she did take money out of it, but the 9%, again, oil prices fluctuate relatively wildly. One year it was like a 50% increase, another it was like 0. So, because it fluctuates so wildly, I was like, sure, that seems reasonable considering we spent about 15 to 37. Yeah. I thought the 2131 was reasonable, because if we have a really cold winter, we don't want to, and the money that gets given back to the town goes into the undesignated fund balance. which then gets used to fund like, maintenance trust funds, so all of those different maintenance trust funds that we have, cemetery trust funds, and then you don't see those as warrant articles asking for more money to fund those. So that's where that money goes, so because it's almost like an invisible hand of sorts, and you don't see that money being put in the trust fund, so you don't see the warrant article going on there, that money does stay within the town, it does help out taxpayers at some point eventually, but yeah.
So again, if we're over, right?
I'm sorry, we can't have public comment.
Well, I just wanna know, how are we heated? Is it
Oh,
oil?
okay,
We were
yes,
saying
oil, I'm
oil.
sorry, yeah,
Okay,
that was a
okay.
great
We were
question,
trying to
thank
figure
you.
that out, yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, if we're over, then we give it back.
Yeah. Okay, my concern is if we build up the, say, 4,000 more or something in it, will it we get to the point where all of a sudden that the budget committee is gonna say, oh, you've been building it up, we're gonna take away, and it gets taken away from somewhere where you need it more.
Would y'all do
Then-
that?
I would
No,
not,
they
but I
can't-
can't speak for the rest of the committee.
We're advising.
So they can't
Yeah.
tell us where to cut from, they can tell us you need to cut a
Okay.
percentage or an amount, and we just,
Gotcha.
you, the board decides
And then
that.
we can decide
Right,
at that
so-
point if
yes.
we need it.
Yeah, they don't, they just
Yeah.
say, you guys
Okay.
need to
We
cut.
do not have the power to do that, we can only advise, we
Right.
can say, hey, you should do.
I
and-
thought you
yeah.
guys were like gods.
No,
Okay.
thankfully no.
Conversation. Maura, I'll give right to you.
So if I take the actual figure and add 9%, I come out with 16,680, and I think we should do that. I'd like to make a motion that we do 16,680 for this line item.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We'll have a motion, we'll have discussion. Okay, discussion.
Can I just ask if the board votes on that, to please move the difference to a line item where it's needed, electronic books and databases?
Okay, you're just saying that you can accept the almost
If
17,000.
the board votes on that, I would like the difference of that
$3,000.
to move to a line item instead of just cutting it all together. That would be my request.
Jan,
I understand the rationale, but for all these other budget lines, when we've increased or cut, we've just been doing it for that budget line, not, I understand we can decide when we get to that budget line where it's gonna come from, but this is another place where it's been split out.
yeah,
So it's gonna be a funny number, because it's the money, was for books and periodicals and included all that stuff. Now books and periodicals is separate from the electronic stuff, which is separate from, something else.
so it makes sense that it's being split out. It makes sense that we're gonna move it somewhere. And I guess I don't wanna say, yeah, we promised to do that. It's probably gonna happen, but you know, we've heard,
Okay.
we've
I just-
heard what you
that would-
said.
I'm just asking, yeah,
Yes,
exactly, that's all I
We've
wanted.
heard what you said.
I have
Okay.
a lot of concerns for those line items that have been
Yeah,
taken out.
and if we have too much money in here and you need something else there, you know what?
16,680.
Okay, do we have a
So
motion?
we did
Yes.
more,
Yeah.
Laura made a note.
16,680.
Dan seconded.
Okay, roll call. Nancy?
I think it's 16,608.
608 or 80?
No, 80.
08 is the 9%, or 09.
15,237 times 9%. I get $16,608.33.
Oh, I'm saying 16,680.
So you're rounding up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm
Then
getting a
I'll
little
sec-
bit extra.
Then I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Donna?
Can I just add one thing, that the 9% you're adding to is last year's, so there's still this whole year that we'll be spending heat on. So if anything, if 9%'s been the average increase, I would recommend an 18% increase on the FY25, but that is only a note.
Okay. Any more conversation?
So we were actually at roll call for you.
Yeah,
You-
we're at roll
yes.
call.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes?
Marco, yes.
Maura Ryan, yes.
Okay. See, I knew if you were driving, we'd get there sooner. Jan?
Okay, great. So the next line, 4412, This is for water services. I assume you guys are on, are we on, we're on, who are we on? Pennachuck, oh yes, the champagne of,
Yes.
public water from,
Yep.
for Londonderry. Okay, so, the received for fiscal year, 2026 was 4182. The request by the librarian, which was a 2% increase, is 4266, and mine was 4,407, which was an increase because I used 5% more than the 2025 actual.
Jan, I want to congratulate you. I don't know where you got your numbers from, but those are bang on from what I got from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So.
Yeah. I'm in the Pennachuck
Oh,
area,
okay.
so
There you go. Yeah.
it was more representative of what is happening in my pocketbook. So
Okay, conversation? Or I'm ready for a
No, I think this is
motion.
right on, this is in line with what I pay as increases in Bedford too. So I would make a motion that we go with the recommendation of $4,407.
Second.
roll call. Let's start with Maura this time.
Maura Ryan, yes.
Beth Marco, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Helen Keller, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 4047. Just trying to keep track so we have the final total. Okay, so now we're down to printing services. Printing services is 4550. Printing services. Okay, so in the default budget for the 2026 it was 4,500 is what we received. For fiscal year 2025 actuals was more than that.
I have 5502
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and 63 cents.
Yes. So, Erin's request is $5,659. My request was 5% times the actual on 2025. So it was 5%, which is $5,777. So there you go. Those are your three choices: $4,500, $5,659, or $5,777.
I'll open discussion. The only thing I'm gonna say is that Erin suggested, and we're actually going to follow through with having all of the printing that we do for every month, for every meeting, and sometimes twice a month. We're gonna be having a savings there, okay? Because we're now gonna start projecting the everything, and just the board will have it to read before the meeting.
It'll be
So,
posted.
maybe, I don't.
Public can download it.
It'll be posted so people
It'll
can.
be posted, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's always gonna be posted, absolutely, yeah. Okay, so I would just say that, actually, we 45 is where it was, right? That's what we received in 26.
Yeah.
And now we're going up to 58 or 59.
56, 59, or 57, 77, or whatever other number you want to throw out.
Nancy?
I think that this is a line item, hopefully Erin is going to dramatically be reduced because of our QR code.
Well, may I speak to that?
Yes.
Please.
So it's not just the
Everyone
meetings that cause the printing, it's requests by the board for more documents. So yes, this will help a lot, but
Yeah.
it is other requests by each board member and so on and so forth. So just keep in mind the best we can email it to you is great, but yes, I think this would be a big help.
There are other things that you print besides board stuff
Yes, there are.
in this line?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're actually looking at, I think 45, I would prefer to keep it say maybe 5 instead of 58, type of thing. But it's up to someone to make a motion.
I'm actually
Yes.
going to make a motion that we go with the recommended amount by the director, and hopefully we're going to see a big reduction in that of $5,659.
Second.
Okay, second, Beth, did you second?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call, Maura?
Yes, Maura Ryan.
Yes, Beth Marco.
No, Jen McLaughlin.
Yes, Helen Palmieri.
Yes, Liz Thomas.
Yes, Nancy Hendricks.
Motion passed. Okay. Dues and subscription services have been moved, that line, right?
No,
Or
Gmail was
it
the
hasn't?
only thing that came out of that line.
Okay, Gmails came out of.
Other
okay.
things are still in that line.
Okay, so it's.
So
Jen?
Gmails was, okay, so we're at 4560, the dues and subscription services. This originally combined, in 2026, it combined both Gmilks and other subscriptions, services, and Gmilks now will have its own line, so it's clear as to what is the actual Gmilks cost, well, what is the actual funding cost for Gmilks. So the director's recommendation for this portion that's left is $8,395, and I did a straight $8,000. So with the difference being $44,262, which is you'll see later.
Okay, can't wait. Okay, we got hands everywhere. Start with Nancy.
So is this not a contractual arrangement? Do we have an
Which one were you looking? Where? Gmail says contractual.
No,
So,
But we're at the one above it.
we're on the one above it.
sorry.
Dues and
never mind.
subscriptions.
Gotcha, I'll ask that question.
Okay.
Okay,
That-
I know that the director has come up with that number, through a series
Calculation.
of data points that she has. So rather than making an arbitrary number, I prefer to keep what the director has recommended. So I'm gonna make a motion to keep $8,395 for line 4560000.
Second.
roll call, Maura.
Maura Ryan, no.
Beth Marco, yes.
Jen McLaughlin, no?
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
All right.
I want to ask one question. That's kind of based on set cost that you have, right?
So that out of that line item comes our 13 museum passes, our memberships to ALA, NHLA, NHLTA, GameStop. We do have a membership with GameStop in store, and that gives us actually a discount on any video games we purchase. So it actually is quite the savings. And so the Baker and Taylor fee, which is I have to look it up. That, because our vendor is changing, that fee may not be there. However, we have to go to a new vendor, so there could be a fee that we're not privy to. So I didn't want it, and we just found out about Baker and Taylor last week. So this was given to you prior to that, but
So it's
I've
a
been-
pretty firm.
it's pretty
It's
firm
not-
on
it
those
wasn't.
numbers, yeah. And that's anticipating potentially put a little bit of cost going up regarding our museum pass. Some of our museum
Yeah.
passes have gone up already. We do sometimes ask the friends to fund certain passes or special passes, so we can explore that a little bit more. We could also ask the trustees if they would like to fund any passes out of their account. So there's ways we can look at that line and maybe make some savings, but I am comfortable with the recommended that the board voted on.
Well, I think that it's great service we provide, and I wouldn't want to see that go to waste.
Right. Me too.
So, Jan,
Another location or another way to raise money for the museum passes and things would be to ask, patrons if they would like to donate, in honor of somebody or in memory of somebody, for a museum pass.
that's a great idea. We actually need to start doing fundraising like that. And so, we can't anticipate when we're doing today's budget that we
Just an idea.
might be able to do that.
Just
but
an idea.
That's an idea that we need to pursue.
Something for the future.
And maybe next year, we'll have extra money that's donated that we can, work with into the budget. Okay? Did we make a motion?
we're all- we already
That's
voted.
right, I already
Yeah,
talked.
voted that
Yeah, I wanted to get a little more information about that, okay? Great, okay,
So,
next line.
line 4560001. This is the new line for Library Consortia. This is GMILKS, and there's another minor consortia that we have as a group. So Erin has requested 47,911. We received 31,747, which was what was the GMILKS cost here. That was only 10 months of GMILKS, however, so I figured out what the other 2 months cost. I added that cost to what we actually spent and then increased it by 5%. So that's how I came up with my 41,906. So I'm $6,005 difference than Erin's number.
More.
Can we get breakdowns of these numbers, cause I wanna know if this includes just the fee for Gmail, so if it includes the software licensing, the equipment, and the other stuff, where is that going if it's not in this line?
Plus
Everything?
all-
This is included in that.
And the
How-
donation and everything too?
There's no donation, that was for last year for fundraising to even get on board with GMILKS. There's no fundraising for this, this is
No,
now,
the donation I think she's talking about is the donation that we're asked to give them.
That we gave
Yes.
$1,000.
oh, that's the iCloud
cloud.
library, that's
The
gonna
cloud.
be, that's the cloud library, that's gonna be coming out of our collection line, because it's actually a collection just like Hoopla and Libby and books that we have on the shelf. So that is not included, because we choose that amount, so that's why it's not included. This is an amount that's given to us that we have to pay. We choose the cloud library amount.
So this amount that you're quoting right here is the actual cost that we have.
It anticipated.
Anticipated.
Yeah,
We
so
don't
that's
know.
GMILKS and the Mary Hill Rock.
Yes,
Mary
okay.
Hill.
Done.
And Mary Hill ran what this year?
I'd have to,
Approximate?
I can tell you, hold on just a second.
This is last year.
Oh, yeah, this is last year, hold on. Did I miss it?
It was $35.
Oh,
Okay.
It wasn't much, I just couldn't remember.
okay,
add one more?
now, yes.
I just wanted to add that we have already paid the Gmail fee for FY '26.
Mhm.
So Erin took that number and added, I think it was like, I don't know the exact.
I think it was 3%, yeah.
So that's where she got her.
Cause we already got the bill for this year, which we,
Yeah.
we always get in July, the board voted on that.
Which is 31,747.
Nope, that was last year.
That was last
Okay.
year.
This year we've already paid it, and I believe it was 43-ish. 43-ish. I'd have to look up the exact number, but we've already paid it for this year, so that's where I was getting that number from. I'm trying to find it too. Oh, it's being used. Oops. Let me try to find it faster.
So I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, they were looking up that number for you.
Okay.
Did you want that?
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. And that would be what we paid in July for
Yep.
the 12 months.
Hold on, it's just loading the document.
Yeah.
Not the best service down here.
No.
We need one of those little plug-in things that eats them.
And that would have been the 12 months that you're estimating?
46,481 is what we paid this year.
Okay,
40
so,
46,481.
46,481.
so next July, that's when the next amount is
It always comes
gonna be
out
due.
July.
Yeah.
They always send the invoice
Yeah.
at the beginning of July,
Yeah, okay.
which is normal.
Jan, did you wanna continue with that, or?
Just a minute.
Yep, we'll give you time, hon.
Well, based on the projections of 3% over this year, that we just paid, 47,911 is right close. I have 47,875, so I would like to make a motion that we go with the 47,911 that the director has requested for 45,600,001.
Second.
Roll call, Maura?
Maura Ryan, aye.
Beth Moraco, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Paula Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Vote passed.
And also that's the $35 for the other consortium, so it
Yes,
does
and
Yeah.
the $35 for the other.
come in pretty
Yes.
close.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be the
Yes,
next one.
I just wanted to revisit the default question real quick, because this one would be a large difference in funding between default and moving this to a new line. So I don't know if the board wants to have a backup plan, or you want to just see what happens. That's,
Okay,
I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
concerned.
Could you, one more time, clarify what you're
So
talking
on the
about?
blue part, where the
Yes.
highlighted is, that's what she's speaking
Oh, I don't
to.
have that one. That-
so
yeah.
the default, I believe if I'm doing this correctly, Kate, you can tell me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
Okay.
The default would be what we received in FY26, and for the, which would go back to the dues and subscriptions line, which we received
30 more.
a total of 52,262. But that factors in more than just GMILKs. As we said, it includes museum passes and all of our other memberships. So that would, like, GMILKs would pretty much eat that, and we would potentially be looking at less museum passes, no memberships to NHLA, for example, so just something to think about.
So you're saying that the June milks right now, that we just voted on,
Mhm.
that's really just the G milks, but there's a couple of other things that that also fall in there.
Well,
that
I think
we
she's
haven't
saying that
discussed.
because we created a new line item,
Yeah.
and since that line item exists in our new, or this new budget, it did not exist in the default. So if something were to happen, it would not exist.
And
the
what's
amount that we need
what's
would
the
not be there.
variation? How
What-
much, what's the difference?
What's the difference?
If the default happened?
Well, it would be, if,
Yeah,
I
that would be
wasn't
it,
called, I'm sorry, I was muttering.
yeah, the default was 52,262 for dues and subscription services. But we have other subscription services, like, what we just voted on, prior to that, that was 8,395. So these two combined are 56,306, which is $4,000 more than what we have in the default budget. And I don't think there's any way around that. If the voters vote on the default budget as a whole, it's, again, the default budget doesn't just include the library, because the library is rolled into the town as a whole. It would be all the departments that would not get the extras above and beyond the default budget. But yeah, that would be $4,000 short of where the library would need to be, and they'd have to figure it out, so.
And I'm sorry,
that would be a cut.
are we still talking about, we're going
So we're
beyond the
talking about
G
two
milks?
lines because
Yeah.
we're taking it out of that one line?
So it's the one above it.
Yeah, so
That we
there's,
already just approved for 83.95. And then this would be 47,911 if we go with what the librarian has
So-
requested.
The combination of the two of them,
Would be 56,306.
Yep.
and are you saying you were $4,000 short of that?
What the default was last year, 52,262. That's the default budget, so we're about $4,000 short of that, yeah.
And we're on the hook for it, because we've got.
Yeah,
some-
we have to figure out where
Jan?
else in the budget we can pull that
Yeah.
from. And this would be the case no matter what you put in the budget anywhere else.
Yeah.
There's no way you could beef it up somewhere to like save.
So you're saying we
It
need to,
is,
yeah, put 4,000 more into that line.
No, I
What?
think this is where, Madam Chair, if I may, this is where I was
Yeah.
saying that if we wanted to create that library consortium line with a zero amount and then just add those two together and keep it in dues and subscriptions, then that, we wouldn't lose anything because it would stay there, and then fiscal year 28, we would be able to
Because
move
it
it into that
exists
line.
now.
Right,
where
exactly.
the other one doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So we're not changing the dollar value.
No, it would just all
we're
be still in one
combining
line.
them.
We'd create the library consortium line with zero, put all the money together in that
Yeah.
same old line, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then when it came to working on fiscal year 28, that's when we can pull it and it would be safe. That's my understanding.
Madam
Let's,
Chair?
okay, let Jan.
My only comment on that is that unlike the previous time where we were taking management services and those numbers are not in a subset, 5560, which is the dues and subscription services 000, this is a 4560-001. So this is in the same larger category. I don't think you're going to have as much of a problem. I mean, maybe you're still going to have a problem because it's still
Well, so the
4,000
default
bucks.
the default is the problem. So if we go into default, then we lose all of that money.
No, but what I'm saying is it's because this account number has the same 4 leading characters.
I don't think that matters. If it's a new line, it's a new line. I think it.
That gets into like finance stuff that I'm
Okay.
that's all Justin.
So maybe that's a
Do you have any thought on that?
No, I don't know if we split out sub-GL line items for
Okay.
default budget purposes.
But
But I do agree that you stand to, quote-unquote, lose 4K if the voters decide to go with the default.
so we'd be better off adding that 4K in this line.
I think I think what I'm understanding is correct is to move that 47,911 into the dues and subscription services. So we
Oh,
add
okay.
those two together, and that would be in there, and then still create the library consortium line that we would use in fiscal
Just have
28.
zero.
Right.
And then now.
That's my understanding. We can
Okay.
certainly get that verified by
Yeah.
Justin, but that would play it safe. Then we wouldn't lose the consortium money.
Because those are contractual obligations.
So Exactly.
It's not changing the dollar amount, it's just changing the formatting.
Right.
Yes.
My concern is that the whole reason for splitting it out is because of wanting that G-Milk's more visible.
Mhm.
And this makes it an entire another year that the G-Milk stays invisible.
I totally hear you, but I'm hearing too what some of the experts are saying from Budget Committee, and that concerns me. I completely hear you.
I agree with you. I want it taken out so that we can have a better visual of that. But I'm concerned doing it this year now, the default. We can still, I have no problem doing that next year, but I'm concerned about losing it, and then we're in a position where we've got a lot of money that we're needing and we don't have, when we could have easily had it.
Just
But-
1 minute, because I want to say something too. I think that I would like to ask the Budget Committee, is this year more risk than any other year of having the default? Or do you think it's even, no, I don't want
Yeah,
to
I
know
know.
it's a vague possibility.
I don't know.
You
I
can't look
haven't-
into a crystal ball, I
We're
know.
all having tea later.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would really depend on seeing how because we haven't even had our first session to discuss the budget with
Yeah.
people yet. So I don't know what the atmosphere is like around budgeting or anything this year. I'll know more after November 1st when the fire,
Okay.
DPW, and police have
Yeah.
presented their budgets and how prickly people are. Then I can get a vibe check. But at this point in time, it's yeah.
Patrick, do you concur with that?
I don't have a crystal ball, and also, by the way, I would not presume to tell this board whether or not you should add in that 4,000. I think the one thing I will say, which was a topic back during the local elections, are that there is a preference for greater transparency, and so breaking outline items in the way that's being discussed here, I would view that favorably, just in terms of transparency. That is entirely separate from the very valid concern about maintaining funding, which I will yield to the board on.
Again, I'll be right with you, Donna. I guess I like to shore up my bet, so I would like to see it, combined just this year, so that we definitely don't lose that money. we don't wanna be losing any money, you know? And if there's a possibility that could happen, because next year it's not, it's now an existing line,
Yeah.
okay? With this year, it's a nebulous space.
Yeah,
And
and
that
as long as when you
space
present
is-
the budget to the budget committee, you can say this includes this and this $47,911 is the Gmail subscription that is included in it. You can say that 15 times if you want in the presentation to make it clear that this is that, and you know, we can maybe separate it out. You can present the budget however you want, but just make it clear that this is how much we're paying for Gmails. You know, I think that's a good way of doing it. So it's separate, but also this is, in this 56,000 is included the 47,000. Just
Yeah.
allow people to know what that is, and bring that visibility verbally rather than
Visually.
visually. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I mean, we would like to see it say exactly what it is, but by the same token, I don't wanna give up for the, you know, that money, you know, so.
Exactly right.
Maura? I mean, I'm sorry, Donna.
Somebody else does.
I look at you and I see her.
Opposite side of the table.
I just wanted to add some clarification on Justin's suggestion regarding the risk versus the transparency. His suggestion is to leave the money in the current budget line, which is what you're discussing. However, after the budget passes, the board could make a motion to move money into the empty line.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So then you would actually be able to show the public that is where the money is going.
So within a month or so,
We could do
Yes.
that.
whenever, well, the budget won't be go through till, what, March?
March.
March, yeah.
But
But then we can move that and we can
You
so,
Kate something.
And
Kate
that
like
would
that.
speak to
I like
Patrick's.
that.
yeah,
That
so
would be-
Patrick.
So we have, so
Yeah.
I agree, I mean, I
Yeah.
agree that all of our departments have to be transparent and then
Yep.
boom,
Yeah.
there it's done.
Yeah, okay, are we comfortable to call the vote?
So what was the motion?
Oh, yeah, we need to have a motion.
Because I think
Yeah,
is there a new motion? Was there a motion before?
No,
No,
Okay.
it wasn't a motion yet.
I lost track.
Hold on.
our treasurer is putting together figures right now.
The number I got to combine both those lines was 56,306.
That's the long
Yeah.
number I got.
Okay.
4791.
So then the consortium line would have 0, and then the dues and subscriptions would have the 56,306, with the understanding of moving that when the vote happens.
So it's gonna be 4,000 more, 4,100, $4,050, more or less, more than the what we are approved for this year.
Okay, so
with-
the dues and
with-
subscriptions,
So
right?
we have to undo what we just did,
Yeah,
and then if we were gonna combine them into one, so come up with a number for the second.
so
Which
do
would
you
be
have,
56,306 would be the 47,911, plus the 83,95 plus an additional 4,000? Yes.
No,
No,
just
that gets it, that
Yeah.
gets it.
because didn't we already
Yeah.
vote on those two lines?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
now
we
we're
need
just
to-
voting to
we
combine
need-
them to the one line.
we need to move up to
Right, okay,
the
okay.
above line and change that figure.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, I
that's,
just got
that's the
confused.
56,306, so we just are voting to combine the two.
Yes.
Okay,
All
so
right,
that's,
I make a motion that we combine those two lines, dues and subscriptions and consortiums for this year to leave ourselves protected.
Yes.
So we're gonna zero
But-
out the
One minute.
consortium line.
no, I think you need to keep, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna just put a 0.
We're not gonna add consortium
Okay, all right.
in that thing.
I'll take
That's
that
what I'm
one.
just saying on the motion, okay?
So it's 56,306.
56.
So is that your
Dues and
motion, Helen?
subscription services.
Second.
Second, no, is that your motion?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay, any more conversation? No? Was ready? Nancy?
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Jim McLaughlin, yes.
Beth Marco, yes.
Maura Ryan, yes.
Okay, now,
So-
then,
Nancy,
Yeah,
That's all.
So,
Yes,
so
go
how
ahead.
do you need a separate motion to
Mm-mm.
make 4560-001 a zero balance?
Well, I don't think you do because we didn't vote to put any money in it yet.
But the line is
But we're gonna
new,
have
so
to
I'm wondering
vote
if
for
we
money.
should vote, because the line itself is new.
If
But
you
we
all
present
feel
this for the
it's
budget
better to
committee.
just address it, then let's address that.
They'll play it safe.
Okay, would you like to make a
I
motion?
would, Madam Chair, I make a motion that we make line item 4560-001 a zero balance.
Second.
Roll call, Maura.
Yes, Maura Ryan.
Beth Markle, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes?
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Motion passes. We only have one more page.
No, well, there's one more at the bottom of that, the seminars and workshops. I mean, oh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
No,
that last
I was
one.
looking at mine.
On one
Yeah,
hand, yeah.
No,
My apologies.
it was consortiums with the last one, so.
I was looking at
Yeah,
mine.
so we're now to the second page.
Right. So, we're looking at seminars and workshops. There was, this year in 2026, we had $1,000 was what was requested. And the director has asked for $2,000. I agreed with the $2,000. And last year, they spent about 1,800.
1880.
There was, I don't know, less than $100 was spent on a board members conference, so that wasn't the extra $800. But anyway, but
I think it's
2,000
important.
I think is reasonable.
Yeah. It's important to recognize that when you did the last year's budget, you didn't realize that any trustees going to a conference would be in that line too, correct?
Correct.
So now we're just.
I'm not saying that's why we went over.
No,
I'm just saying,
I'm
I
just
think
saying
if trustees
need
are
to
going to be
consider
going
that.
forward, coming out of this line, we have to consider that. That's all I'm
Exactly,
saying.
yeah, that's
Yep.
what I was saying, yes, yeah.
So
Any
I
more
think 2,000 is reasonable.
Yeah. Do we have a motion?
Okay.
Make a motion for 4570, the line item of $2,000.
Second.
Nancy?
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Beth Markle, yes.
Maura Ryan, yes.
Okay.
Okay, moving right along. Travel and mileage. The director has requested $1,500 for this item. In 2026, we have been approved for $1,000. This past, so I recommended 5% more than the 2025 actual, so I got 1,050 versus 1,500. So,
Yes, Maura.
What was the actual again, Jan?
it was not very much. It was less than $100.
$159.85.
I guess my one consideration would be that, we have new people going on the board, but those charges wouldn't go in there anywhere next year. But, you also have new employees and stuff, and so maybe, we need to budget a little more, generously in that than we have been doing.
I would agree with you because you probably recall in our discussion about Erin's job description for the upcoming year, one of the things that we want for her to do is more outreach into the community and establish relationships and partnerships, et cetera. Well, she has to travel to do that.
You need gas to do that.
You need gas to do that.
And gas is
So-
never gonna get cheaper.
No, so I'm perfectly, I beg your
Erin.
pardon. Oh, go ahead.
I was just, sorry, were you done, Nancy?
I was just gonna say I was okay with, the director's recommendation of $1,500.
So I just want to speak to the amount that we spent was $159, and that was due to staffing challenges. We weren't able to go to those conferences. In fact, this year still we're not able to go to those conferences. So I don't think that's an accurate spend of what I would love for my staff to be able to do. So I would ask the board to please consider the $1,500 for the mileage for those reimbursements.
I think that, yes, Jen.
So, I see that there's no budget line, so is this a change from a budget line?
No, it's always existed. Where are you looking?
The actuals in 2022, 2023, 2024, they're all just a dashed line for travel and mileage services.
Oh, so
Donna,
Donna.
may I speak to that? So previously, the staff requested reimbursement through the seminars and workshops for mileage. However, when we joined GMILKS, we recognized that we would be attending more GMILKS meetings and having to travel, so we wanted a more accurate split of travel versus seminars and workshops. So that's why those were not funded in those years.
Because,
we weren't in
the
GMO for
cost,
years.
There was no spending more funding.
the consortium makes a difference, so.
But
yeah.
you also increased the seminars and workshops as well.
Because they had more training. They had more training. And I cloud and all that.
Right, but what I'm saying is they've asked for.
Well, it's gone up and down throughout the years.
They've
Like in
asked for
2023, it was 2,730.81, and then that's what we actually spent. And then 2024, it was 2,000. The actual was 511. So we're asking for 2,000. Well, we're asking for 1,500, but in 2025 it was 2,000.
But 1,500 plus 2,000 is 3,500.
No, I'm asking for 1,500.
No,
Right,
she's
but
looking at the other
With
ones.
seminars,
Oh, I'm sorry.
seminars and
Together.
the mileage together, that's $3,500. Where if you look at past history, that's not even close. So I understand that there's more workshops and all that stuff, but there are also some things come with the GMILKS. Some of the training comes with GMILKS as well.
This is not just training.
not
This
just
is just we
GMOs.
go to the state library for training. We go.
I understand. I'm just saying that there also is some training. My understanding is there was some training that comes with GMILKS. But so my concern is it's more than previous years. That's all.
Well, I think that the first line that we discussed, we added it because to cover the trustees to go to workshops, because Erin hadn't, that wasn't part of the deal before.
There was only, but there was only one that did that, so it was less than $100.
Yeah, but what if other members wanted to go?
You're still $3,500 versus $2,000.
Kate.
So I just did some very quick math. You mentioned that there was some workshops and trainings and stuff up in Concord. From the Leach Library to the library up in Concord, just to get there is 50 miles. So it's 50 miles there and back, so that's 100 miles. $1,050 will give you 1,500 miles. So that's 15 trips to Concord and back only. That's it. That's all you get with the $1,050 for the mileage reimbursement. Because right now that's 70 cents a mile.
Beth.
I'd like to just make a motion to accept the director's recommendation for $1,500 for line 4575000.
Second.
Nancy.
Nancy?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Are we done with discussion? Anything more to say? No, Nancy.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, no?
Beth Marco, yes.
That is a 930% increase. I'm
Mhm.
gonna say no.
Okay, motion passed. We're on general expenses supplies.
Okay.
She's got to keep the figures.
So, this past year, in 2026, for general expenses, that's the line item is 4610. The amount budgeted was $9,100. The librarian's budget was $8,100. and I had recommended $5,528, which was 5% more than the actual $2025. That's where I came up with my number.
Conversation? Yes, Beth.
It's not completely relative, but it is a little bit. Could we start, instead of saying the librarian, could we say the directors? Because it just feels more respectful of her title.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay. Donna.
8,100 versus 5528 or some other number.
Donna.
I just wanna note that, what's spent most out of general expenses line are supplies and outsourcing services for preparing our books, processing them. Our vendor is going out of business, as I shared, so we don't know what the cost is going to look like with a new vendor. So there's some like question marks there. So I'm not saying that we have to go with as high as 8,100, but I do feel like you should leave some room for whatever the cost is going to look like with a new vendor. So that's for you to think about.
And I think I can safely say it's going to be costing more because you have, I mean, we're down to one major service now, right, in the US for books. So when you're the kingpin, you can call your numbers, you know what I mean? That's my only comment.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
So what are we talking about,
I'll be right
1,000?
back. I just have to take care of something upstairs.
Okay,
Excuse me.
so we're talking about what, 1,000, no, how much more difference?
I mean, it's a big difference between the two.
So 2026 2026 approved was 9,100.
Yeah,
The director is asking for 8,100.
for less.
100.
Yeah,
And we actually spent in 2025 run it around. We actually spent in 2025 why don't I have that number on here?
I know you already said it.
5,025 and 43 cents.
What was it, 5,500?
$5,025.
Oh, 25, 5025.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what we spent this past year.
Yep.
So,
Okay, I guess I'll make a comment. I think that, okay, we know it would be no less than that 5,000, but realistically, I would feel comfortable with, we're talking 5 or 8 or 9, maybe go 5, 7, just give you an idea, if anyone wants to make a motion, think about it.
Well, I think you're right. I think that when you have a monopoly on something, you get to set your price. And, Erin just said she's not sure. Maybe you can comment on it, if you allow, but I don't know. I don't think that it's gonna be $5,000. I don't even think it's gonna be $5,500. I think it's gonna be more than that, Liz. I agree with you, but
So,
how
yeah.
much more, I don't know.
That's what I said, they're looking for 59, I said 57. What are we talking about, $200?
no, you're talking about $2,000.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying between what they suggested, the 59, and I suggested 57.
Well,
Yeah,
no, they suggested 81.
yeah. I'm sorry.
They suggested 81.
Oh, 81.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yes,
Erin?
I'm sorry,
No,
I'm
that's okay.
sorry.
Erin, do you
I'll
think
get
that
right
if
back
we
to you.
adjust this line item, 4610, instead of 8,100, do you think that if we adjust it to 7,500, we'll be in the ballpark? We were just talking about you're saying yes,
Yeah.
which is saying that
I would,
these folks now are a monopoly.
yeah, I would feel better about that. I do still have some concerns because we don't
Sure.
know what our new vendor
Of course.
will charge us, but it would put us in a more comfortable position than the
Okay.
5.
Okay, then Madam Chair, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
one minute, because we had one more hand up. Beth?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna, suggest. that
Ditto
we-
was
Yeah,
something.
because I just,
Yeah, okay.
I like a conservative number, but that sounds risky.
I think if our vendor wasn't shutting down immediately,
Yeah.
I would feel more comfortable with going with a lower number, and because we'd have actuals. But with the new vendor, it's so hard to predict what those charges will look like. And
If it ends up being one vendor in the world,
which right now
they
it
can
seems that
charge
way.
anything, and
Yeah,
that's what it
I
is
mean,
right now.
maybe the business is to be a book vendor.
So would you be comfortable with us adjusting this to 7,500?
That would be comfortable, yes.
Okay. Madam Chair, I would make a motion that we adjust line item 4610-000 from 8,100 to 7,500.
Second.
Roll call, Maura?
No.
Beth Monaco, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, no.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
I think right now, in this environment, that the risk is real.
Okay.
You know, and if we have the money, if we don't spend it all, you know, some,
give it
you know.
back.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
so the next line is 4620. This is office supplies. This is 11099 is what was budgeted for 2026. It's what was requested by the director for 2027, and I had requested 10,728 based on the 2025 actuals, which is upside down now.
10,217.
10,217 plus 5%.
So you took the actuals plus 5%, right? Okay. Conversation?
You know, when I go to replace, for example, toner, I am aghast at how much toner
It's
costs.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So it's another one of those lists, the price is not gonna go down. So especially with the load that we have placed on the director and her staff for the documents that we require, I say we leave this as is, and if we come in under, we give it back.
Second.
No, I want to give anyone who
Yeah.
wants to counter that, okay, before we go to
There wasn't.
a vote. No?
Then I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the director's recommendation for office supplies for 620-000 of $11,099.
It's 4620, right?
For 620-000. Yes.
Second.
Okay. Maura?
Yes.
Yes, Beth Monaco.
Yes, Jan McLaughlin.
Yes, Helen Palmieri.
Yes, Liz Thomas?
Yes, Nancy Hendricks.
Motion passes.
Okay, so, now we're into postage, which is 4625. 4625, we requested $1,000 in 2026. It's requesting $2,000 in, the director's requesting $2,000 last year. Oh, and but with a note that she'd like to move $1,000 from general expenses to this postage line.
So it's basically a wash then.
No, no.
Because general expenses, we changed to 7,500, so I don't know if that $1,000
I think we should
counts.
not worry about the moving to that line.
Right,
I
because
think
we changed the
Yeah.
amount.
We've just been voting the actual line.
Yes,
I think that's clearer. But the expenses for last year, expenses in 25, the actuals in 2025 was 3,000 and some because of the postcard
And the
re-register
jingles.
yourself, re-register your cards for
Yeah.
the rest of the family. So So that's why I came up with 10% more than the actual for 2025, figuring that 2025 was a more representative, and then you've got an increase in postage as well, so that's where I come up with 1,100.
Beth?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Erin, but doesn't that amount that you calculated, include whatever it takes to ship a book, interlibrary?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So we still get interlibrary loan through the state.
Yeah.
And actually, we thought it went down probably a lot. It didn't go down as less as we thought it would, to be honest. So we still do have to ship those books back to other libraries.
So
Sure.
we don't actually pay a postage fee for the state
Okay.
van. We
Not-
are,
yeah,
yes,
we
are
are
paying postage for out-of-state interlibrary loans.
Okay.
That's correct.
Which we also get out-of-state books sometimes for patrons, and that is paid through the postage line.
Okay. So messing with that too much could affect.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my 2,000 came from including that, and then as well as the increase I think Jan spoke to of postage costs are
Right.
constantly going up. I think it feels like twice a year now. So that was to account for that. Yes, we're not doing the postcard campaign, so we don't need the 3,000, but we still need to account for those additional increases that could potentially come from the U.S. postal system, as well as mailing those out-of-state books back.
So my thought is 10% over 2025 is enough, but there you go. That's the difference. So it's
Beth?
Can I just make a motion to accept, to move forward with the director's recommendation for $2,000 under the postage supplies line, 4625-000.
Second.
Nancy, roll call.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, no?
Beth Marco, yes.
Maura Ryan, no.
Vote passes.
Okay.
Maintenance of repairs?
Now we're going to 4630.
Mhm.
000. Maintenance and repairs, supplies. Yes. So carpet and upholstery cleaning came out of this line and is now moved into custodial services. For 2026, the budgeted amount or the approved amount was $25,000. The director has asked for $25,000, and I went ahead with $25,000.
Okay, conversation?
Madam Chair, I make a recommendation that we approve the recommendation for line item 4630-000 for $25,000.
Second.
Maura,
Maura Ryan, yes.
Beth Marco, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Okay.
So
Books and periodicals.
4670. Now this is books and periodicals. This is another one where we have split numbers. Again, my understanding from Justin was that since the first four numbers are the same, that we wouldn't have as great a concern of if it was a default budget. In 2026, we budgeted $100,000. In 2025, we spent $150,000, $156,000, I think it was. So, Aaron was recommending $90,000 of it being split, because the other 51 is down below. So,
No, I was recommending $90,000 for that line specifically, and then 51 for the electronics.
Oh, yeah, that's
Correct.
what she
That's
said.
said.
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you said
51.
splitting
No, she
90,000.
said that the
no,
51
the
would go to
90,000
Okay.
plus the 51.
Okay, my apologies.
Equaling the 100 that was approved for this year. And I put 66,000 in this line and 35,480 in the next line, which still gives them 101, 480. So it still gives them more than the 100,000 from this year, but not that amount. We do have GMilks, and I understand that we had talked about savings originally with from books and periodicals. This is a line item that is spent over a lot, and I know there's going to be some pushes and pulls on this because of the Baker and Taylor situation, as we're currently ordering books from Barnes and Noble.
We're not ordering any books from Barnes and Noble.
Not Barnes and Noble, okay.
Amazon.
Well, we ordered books from Amazon before, but
Amazon.
anyway.
Yeah, we've always
yeah.
ordered books from Amazon.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So, the 131,000 combining the two is a big increase over the 100,000, and that was as much as I can say about that.
$41,000 more. Yeah.
Are you talking about the 90
So-
and the 51?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that
the-
141?
It is. So
So,
I'm confused at what's your request for the books and periodicals line? Sorry, Pam, I'm just a little.
Books and periodicals, I requested 66,000.
Okay, that's all right.
And then for the e-books and databases, 35,480. So because based on what was broken out from 2025.
So it's just an increase of $1,480 total with those two lines, is that correct?
yes,
Yes.
so it's
Okay.
$40,000 less than what you asked for. Looks about that,
I'd
yeah.
like to hear from our
Yeah,
director.
Donna.
Do you want me to answer?
No, you had your hand up,
Okay.
I'll speak after.
I just wanted to note that the books has always been a line that has always been discussed, especially with the budget committee level, as needing to be right-sized. There were many, many years where it was like stagnant, same amount. However, we know that the cost of books was increasing, so we were constantly able to only get less than that. I also wanted to note that Hoopla is a huge factor in this. Hoopla is, actually I wanted to do the math real quick with what I projected for next
I
year.
can explain. Hoopla is one of our databases that is a free app that you can download, very similar to Libby and Cloud Library. However, you can search for a book or if you are looking for a particular book title, and it's instantaneous. So we get that right away. However, with Hoopla, with the challenge that a lot of libraries face is that they've had to drop it because it's an unpredictable amount. It's based on usage. So it's not like we pay $1,000 to Hoopla and everybody gets access to all those things. It's, if 10 people in this audience use it and then next week we add another 5 because we had new patrons and that ups the price, and it's an unpredictable amount. So
Is it like a monthly?
we get a monthly invoice, yes.
Okay, so it changes monthly?
Every month, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And,
So I wanted to add that just with the three the digital collections, Hoopla, New Hampshire Downloadable Books, which is also known as Overdrive or Libby, and Cloud Library, which is offered through GMilks, that's without counting any of our other databases like Consumer Reports and
US Dailies.
I went projecting just the cost of digital databases to be over $39,000. So going with the lower amount of $35,000 would absolutely mean cutting Hoopla.
And potentially other databases, if there's increases in other databases. So it would be a huge loss in services.
I also just want to add that the Hoopla contract would be brought to you at the November meeting. So
you've got to decide now.
you have to decide. We
get it. The fire's under our feet.
In order to cancel that
Yeah.
contract,
Yeah.
we have to give 60 days written notice. So the latest we could give notice is December 10th.
Okay, Nancy.
Sure. So, thank you. One of the things that troubles me about this is that and we haven't had an opportunity to talk about this year because we've been, discussing so many other things. But as you know, and I know you share my vision of bringing, services to seniors or services to people that can't access the library or physically come and visit our library. So I am concerned that if we minimize some of these services, then people who cannot actually physically come to our library will have less opportunities to interact with our library. So I would be very concerned about minimizing any of these services.
So you're saying we're cutting services to
Yes.
shut-ins and stuff that,
That would be my concern.
yeah.
We could be. So,
Jim.
besides the amount of difference, doesn't Hoopla have a 4 or 3 items per month? Isn't that one of the ways that you
So
control
you
costs?
can lessen the checkouts per month, but, and you can even bring, say, like, let's say, only allow things that cost $3 and under be available to our patrons. But we've tried that in the past, and some of our patrons have actually complained that they haven't been able to continue a series of books that they were started when they originally had it because that number fell under a certain amount or they weren't allowed to check out. So I think we can do that, but I think there's still the risk of the unpredictability of it. And to speak to Nancy's point, there are people, and quite a few of them, that do have library cards that don't use our physical building, but do use these services for whatever reason, whether they can't leave the house or they have long commutes, they travel a lot. So a lot of times these checkouts that we're seeing with the downloadables are really related to patrons that don't come in and check out the physical books, which is certainly okay, and we encourage because we want them to still use our services, and they have every right to do that as someone who lives in Londonderry. But I have to agree with some of the statements that have been said that for years we've been, I particularly have been accused and criticized about going over this line item and having it not be correct. I am presenting you with as close to, I think, of a correct budget as I can think of right now, based on usage, based on hopefully of the future that I'm seeing, but of course that can change. So in my defense, here I am presenting that actual that has been asked of me and asked of the board, and I've been accused of not presenting, and I want to be understood that I am presenting this to the board as what I think is the actual. If the board would like to go forward and certainly cut that, I want that to be known that that was a board decision, and I'm going to do my best to accommodate what I've been restricted to have, whatever that number would be. So
I do know that there's been comments about, that the book has always been, has been overspent, but maybe it's not overspent, maybe it was under budgeted,
it's definitely
It's
under
a
budget.
combination of the two.
so
It's definitely
that
under
could be it too. We need to have transparency, that's what
100%.
we're asking for, transparency, so, if we cut the services like books, I mean, that is our business, books are our business.
And
the
books are
other
still
thing-
our highest checkout.
Oh, sure,
Just
of course.
the physical book is still the highest
Yes,
checkout.
and the other thing is that we know books are gonna go up, quite a bit probably when we don't have any competition in the market and there's only one vendor. I mean, someone's gonna show up, but it's not gonna be overnight. So there is gonna be risk of cost for the next, several months probably. Jan?
Last year when we were discussing this, there was discussion that the books that had cost $25 were now costing $50. Now, granted, I'm talking about the Baker and Taylor prices, which is not what we'll necessarily be paying, but there were very few books that were paid through by Baker and Taylor that were anywhere close to $50.
All the
So-
large print books.
What?
All the large print books are around.
Well, I'm just saying, of the invoices
When she looked at the
that I
invoices.
looked
Yeah.
through, that came through from Baker and Taylor, most of them were in the $15 to $25 range. So they weren't close to the $50 range on a regular basis.
Beth, you had some.
I just wanted to reiterate what you had said, Liz. We are in the business of library books. We don't ask the sports department to cut the field. We shouldn't be cutting the books. And again, to reiterate that our physical, tangible books are in crisis right now because of the supplier situation. And as a patron, almost every single thing I read comes off of a database. And almost literally everything that my kiddo reads comes from our hard copy book from the state. So we need to be thinking about all the patrons that have to access the library in a variety of ways, and we should not be cutting what we supply when we supply books. So
My opinion is, for what it's worth, books are our business, okay? We have programs we spend, and they're wonderful, and people love them, okay? But I don't want to be cutting books, you know. I think that's our main business, is the books, you know, and our services. So, you know, I'm not suggesting cutting programs either. What I'm saying is when we right sizing the budget, when we're looking at everything, every line number, I think books should be one of the premium line numbers right at the top, you know, because that's what people come to a library for. Yes.
And if you take Erin's 90,000 for physical books and 51,000 for the digital, that's 141, which is still lower than the 155 that was spent last fiscal year. So I think Erin is trying to make a concerted effort to realize that we are part of GMILS, we should be spending less on books, and it is reflected in the budget.
And I do think that, you know, when we were presented GMILS, one of the important things to us was it was going to cut our books budget, our collections, okay? And so there is some savings now from there. You know, and we've only been in it less than a year, so I would hope going forward, you know, it might even, you know, make even a greater difference. You know, because whether it does or not, I think that books are our business. That's my slogan. Books are our business, okay?
I was going to make a motion.
I'll be right back.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say something before the motion.
Yeah, go
ahead. So I would like to point out that the books and periodicals does include fiction, nonfiction, large print, teen, children's, audiobooks, library of things, music, CDs, video games, reference, DVDs, and periodicals. So it's not just books, and it's a lot more. And yes, we do have a savings with GMILS, but we have to also remember that our patrons have an expectation to try to get them the newest, latest, and greatest, if you will. And you can't do that in the first, sometimes I think it's 3 months now, our patrons, when we get a new book, let's say the new James Patterson, that stays in our library for about 3 months. And sometimes we have to order a second copy because the wait list is so big. So we have to keep in mind that this number, yes, we are part of GMILS, but we still have a responsibility to our own patrons and their requests and their services and their needs as well. And then having the GMILS is that added bonus of materials of not necessarily if someone were to ask for a book and we don't own it and another library does, that's great, we can get it from them. But we still have to get the new items, the popular items, and that's all encompassing in these genres. So I think that it is important to, yes, I think GMILS, I will say on my deathbed that GMILS is super important, but we do have a responsibility to our patrons, and that's what this reflects.
And I love that statement because that's really important. We're here for Londonderry.
Correct.
You know, we're here. It's Londonderry paying us to be here to provide a service, and you know, I think number one is Londonderry. GMILS is great because it gives more opportunities to have more. Especially, I love that thing with the first 6 months or something of a new book.
Yep.
It stays on the shelf for the Londonderry people. So I love that idea too. Yes.
I was going to make a motion, so
yeah,
I don't know if
oh,
you want to call it first.
So I was just going to, my comment was, I'm one of the users that uses a lot of books from Libby, which is the state library electronic downloads, and very often for some of the books that are the newer version of the book, there may be 55 copies in the state of that book, but I still may have to wait 5 weeks to read
Your
it,
14th
to listen
list.
to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure necessarily having one more copy here would make that much of a difference because I still get it from Libby anyway. So anyway, that's just what I'm saying is that oftentimes there's a lot of these books that are bought. And then sometimes you get 3 years down the road and now it's not the number one book and now we have 56 copies. So anyway.
Okay, so just to clarify, okay, 100,000 was what we did last year, was that?
Was
That
we-
was approved, yes.
Was approved, yeah, was approved. And 90,000 is what you're looking?
90,000 is my request for this year for that line.
Yes, and Jan's was 66,000. I just wanted to make sure everyone was on the same boat. Did you want to
Yeah.
make a,
Could I make a
Laura,
motion?
1 minute, do you have another thing to say before we
Yeah,
make a motion?
just to clarify, we're splitting the electronic databases and the book line, so it's, you have to compare the similar components.
Right, it was still more last year.
Yeah, we did 156.
And
Yep.
again, to keep in mind of that default situation that we had with Gmail, since the electronic books and databases is a new line item, if we take that out, there's a risk of
Right.
losing that amount. So it might be another conversation that the
Approve
board
them and
might
then
wanna
put
have,
them
is
back.
combining those line items but keeping electronic at 0, just like we did with the Gmilks. Just to keep that in mind, that's another a risky situation that we, and I agree that we should separate those. It's actually makes it easier on me and my staff as far as budgeting. But
The first year is.
the first year is the scary year,
Is the
and
scary
then, so I would ask the board to do similar what they did with the other line items, is combine the both and then put a 0 in the electronic, line.
I got one question, it's jumping ahead,
Okay.
okay? Based on what you've given us, the figures, and based on, well, and I think we pretty much voted along that line. Bottom line, what are we looking at and what, bottom?
So my request, are you talking to combine both of them?
No, I'm looking at the end of the day, tonight, the
Okay.
bottom line, based on your figures, is how much?
Could we, well,
I thought we were just doing the line items.
No, I know, I just
Okay.
get an idea if like, we're 100,000 ahead.
Well, I'd
We
have to
haven't
do the
done it
math, because
that
we're not
way,
done
though.
yet. We're not
Yeah,
done
we
yet, so I'd have
haven't
to
done
do
it
the math.
that way, so it
Okay.
makes it difficult to do that at this juncture.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, we'll have to figure that math out, because we've changed some line amounts, so we'd have to figure that out once we
And
get
then
to
if
the
we're
end.
over too much, we might have to revisit something.
Well, I think, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do what we want,
Let's
the board can
continue.
vote on everything, and then
Let's
at the end,
continue.
we can take a look at what that increase looks
Yeah,
like.
that's what I wanna know.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's continue, there's a motion.
Can I make a motion
Yes, please.
for, $90,000 to be added into the budget for line 4670,000.
Second.
Nancy, oh wait, did you have a conversation?
I just wanna note that does not, you're gonna run into the situation with default if you
Oh.
leave it at 90.
Right, I think you had to add a vote.
Oh, before, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, because then we had to undo what we had said before.
you have to add the 51 to the 90, right?
I'd like to rescind
141.
You have to rescind your motion.
my motion.
Did you wanna make a new one?
Yeah,
141,
Um,
did that.
so I'd like to make a motion for 141.
141,000.
Even?
Yeah,
Okay, 141 even, thousand. And the book line is gonna be the number, 4670,000.
Yes.
and then we'll put 0 in the second
Yes.
line, so it doesn't.
Just like we did for the other.
Yeah, like we did the second, yeah.
If I understand your motion correctly, if your motion is to put $141,000 in
Yeah.
line item 4670-000, then I second your motion. Is
That's
that your
what it was.
It is my motion. Thank
Okay.
you.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Okay. I know sometimes
It's a lot.
Hard to keep up.
yeah. Okay. Maura,
Yes.
was that a vote or was that a?
No, that was me responding.
That was
to
recognizing that I was calling
Um,
you, yes.
Who was the second? Sorry.
It was originally me and then it became Nancy.
Because Jan overspoke her.
I think this is something we have to revisit, again. But, I will vote yes.
Dr. Marco, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, no.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Vote carries.
So would you like a motion to put 0 in?
That's
so we
what I'm
get the
waiting
Yeah,
for.
we did that last
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So Madam Chair, I would make a motion that we put $0 in line item 4670-001.
Second.
Everyone second that one.
Do it.
Maura, that one's an easy one. No?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Marco.
Yes, Jan McLaughlin.
Yes, Helen Palmieri.
Yes, Liz Thomas.
Yes, Nancy Hendricks.
Okay. Vote carries.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty now.
Yes.
So, this is machine, equipment and property, 4740. It was, 0 for 2026, $1,000, by the director, and I said the same thing, for the director, $1,000.
Madam Chair,
Nancy?
I would make a motion that we accept the director's recommendation for line item 4740-000 for $1,000.
Second.
Okay, Maura?
Yes.
Yes, Beth Randall.
Yes, Jan McLaughlin?
Yes, Helen Palmieri.
Yes, Liz Thomas.
Yes, Nancy Hendricks.
Vote passes unanimously.
Okay, furniture and property, this is, 2750. This is furniture and fixture property, I guess that's also bookshelves and things. The amount that was approved for this year was 2,500. The director has asked for 2,500 this year, and I think last year we took that out or did something with it. Anyway, I have 2,000, at least to start, 2,000.
And so how much was spent last year? 2,500?
No, I think we pulled it out of the.
No, it wasn't in
We
there.
pulled it out.
It was
Yeah.
zero. It was zeroed
Zero.
out.
We didn't
Yeah,
spend
We
any.
didn't have
Yes,
any money
yeah.
in there.
Yep, that's right, so we
Great-
went 1 year
great
without
chair
buying
tomorrow.
furniture.
I remember that this garnered a lot of
This was a
discussion.
lot of
Yes, it did, I
For some
remember,
reason.
everyone said,
It's
who
got
put
people
that
very
in?
passionate about
And it
Paul's
was
chairs.
also, then there was a
warrant.
A warrant
warrant
article.
article by the public for
For the-
$40,000, and then that didn't go anywhere
That
either,
was the
so
zero now, yep.
it meant there was no money for the furniture.
How about if we
So
make sure we
basically,
get
we
furniture?
haven't spent money on furniture for 2 years now,
Or more.
At least.
or more.
So, Madam Chair,
Yes,
I would make a motion that we accept the director's recommendation of $2,500 for line item 4750-000.
Second.
Nancy?
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, no.
Beth Randall, yes.
Maura, I know.
Okay, vote passed. We're on the roll.
So I just want to again point out, I know, I'm sorry, Jan, to kind of
No
cut you off. The programming, again, is another challenge with the default, so just to keep that in mind as we go forward.
The next 1, 2, 3, 4 line items are all programming line items. These would all be added into the management services if there was a default budget. But these are new numbers now. So it would be added into line item management services 4330, which we approved for $4,314. Okay, so all of these would be added in, and this is about
20,870. So you would add that to the 470.
Yeah. So
Say that again,
For those, so for the programming lines, I got 20,870.
yep.
And then you would add that to the already approved 4,770.
And then you just zero all of those lines for the,
Yeah,
yeah.
just like we did for
For
the
the
other ones,
default
yeah.
budget, yeah. Maura, you had a question.
Kind of a technical question, sorry. Is anybody taking meeting minutes?
I've got the queue.
Okay, just double checking.
Thank God.
I'm keeping track
Thank
of all
God
the
for
votes.
Jan.
The
I'm keeping
queue is
track of every
queuing.
vote too, Maura. I'm keeping track of every vote.
Yeah.
Oh, great, good. Okay.
So, we can go, I'd still like us to continue going line by line, but then we could add it back into the management services if we could, just because I think the discussion is clearer this way. the request for adult programming, is $7,542. I don't know why I have $7,543, but there's a $1 difference for some reason.
So you are agreeing with that figure?
I agree with the director's
Yes,
figures.
okay.
That's adult programming, that's 4821. So do you want to talk about adult programming?
So, I just wanted to say where I got these numbers from were what we've spent. We've kind of separated as best we can, I think, pretty good actually, of what we've spent on programming in the past. So that's what, that's how I.
So we would be
came
able
this
to
figure.
add, to offer equal service this year?
Yeah, I did increase each of the costs that I came up, we had numbers for, by 3% to
Yeah.
account for any increases in
Right,
whatever that be, performers' charges or whatever have be.
right.
I mean, when we hire a performer, also keep in mind, sometimes that performer does charge us for mileage, and it does come out of whatever, so let's say it's an adult
Yeah.
person, they do charge, it would come out of that program line. So knowing that mileage is going up potentially, we try to account for that. So that's kind of where all that thought process was going.
I would like to propose that we, instead of look at each line separately, we just look at it as a whole and, talk about the programs. And then, because it's being moved up into one piece and everything else, it's all being zeroed out. But if you want to discuss each level of programming, we can do that too. It's up to the board, okay?
I think they're almost all identical, so I think we should just.
And you're saying that you look, that's pretty much
Yes, we
a
are.
realistic view of what you spent.
As realistic, like basing on what we've spent in the past plus 3%.
Yes.
To account
Yes,
for
yeah,
potential inflations, whatever
Yes.
have that be.
Oh, we
Which
never have.
unpredictable sometimes.
Yeah, we always have inflation.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing stays the same. So.
The only difference between mine and the director was, I added $1 to, the adult programs. I took $1 away from the teen program.
And you took $8 away
And
from
I took $8 away from the other programs.
Were you on like some kind of a sugar high that night?
I'm not really sure. Have a feeling.
She had reason.
I had a technology person who was doing the final tweaking of the numbers, and it may be that in the tweaking, the numbers came out different. I have no idea, but
Basically, we're about $10 off,
Yeah.
give or take. Okay, so.
I'll take whatever's higher.
well,
You wanna make a
$9.
motion?
Yeah.
Make a motion to go with whatever's higher.
Yes.
Whichever line item's higher.
She wants that $10.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So yours is higher by 8,
So,
9.
Madam Chair, if the director is correct, if these together, line item, adult program, teen programming, youth programming, and other programming, I haven't run the numbers, but I trust you, Erin. If that comes to
$20,000.
$20,870, then I would make a motion that we accept that for programming for the following year.
Mhm.
Second.
Nancy.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Beth Monaco, yes.
Maura Ryan, yes.
Okay, now do we need to make a
Yes.
motion to move this somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We
need to move
We
on,
need to
yeah.
move the $20,870 to management services. So we're going to add this to the 443.14.
What's
So-
the line item, Jean?
4330.
I would second that motion.
Maura. We're taking a vote on the motion.
Maura Ryan, yes.
Beth Monaco, yes.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
That
Unanimous
makes
vote.
that line 21347.
Yes.
If anybody wants to double check with me on that one.
Okay, everyone concur with that?
So now management is
Okay,
21347.
now we need a motion to,
And then we'd like to zero out. I make a motion that we zero out the 4 program lines.
5.
4.
4.
Adult programming, teen, youth, and other.
Second.
Maura?
Yes.
Beth?
Yes, sorry. Yes, Beth Monaco.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Okay. The last thing we're at
Okay,
then.
the last thing, is, account number 4320, which, we had nothing from last year, cause we, in our greatest ideas, took it out last year.
I just want for the record, I would like to make a point that I wanted to put it in and everybody else decided to take it out.
So we took it out
You
for
were
the
the
20,
smart one, we would have.
for the
said
20,
that.
for the 2026
Okay,
approved,
we'll give you
but
that kudo.
she was using the Ouija board over there, so, the director has, requested, $1,200, and I recommended $5,000.
I would agree with you.
I
Well-
recommended more than the director as well. I looked it up, I saw a bill, some website, like some for lawyers in New Hampshire had all their hourly billing rate listed, and $350 was the average, so
Mhm.
1,200 would give you 3.42 hours for the entire year. So I bumped it up to 3,500 to give you a solid at least 10 hours of billable time.
And we spent
But yeah, I did not think that the 1,200 was adequate.
And again, we're just kind of, no, the other departments aren't putting money aside for legal services. We're just trying to begin to offset the costs that the town might be incurring on our behalf. So I think that's, where we got those.
Well, I will mention that in the first month, we surpassed this, so.
Both numbers? The 5,000 as well as the?
No, we
Okay.
surpassed the 1,200. And I'll tell you, we were closer to the 5,000, and that was in the first month. And hopefully it will
Maybe two.
continue. Huh?
Come on, maybe 2.
Oh, maybe 2, okay, I'll give you 2. Okay,
We should
there.
joke about it, that's a lot of
So
money.
I'm not even sure that, 5,000 is enough, but you know what? I think it would be prudent to maybe leave it at 5,000 and, I don't know.
Begin to do it.
Patrick, do you have a thought on this?
He's got a lot of thoughts.
Did I interrupt you?
No, not at all, but that feels like walking into a minefield.
Yeah.
I know. I know what,
I for one would like us to not joke about how much money we've spent on legal
No.
services, because I think
No.
it's appalling.
no, it is, and we need to control it. We need to, we need to, on our actions to, not, to control the need.
Again, I haven't seen a single letter or email from our attorney, and you're the one that,
And I did tell you I'll go home tonight.
I know,
and
but I'm
send
just
it.
saying, you're the
Yes.
one that makes every
Yeah.
single request. And none of us here
I'm
have
sorry, a
seen-
lot of the requests were not from me or the board, okay?
Yeah, so Liz, if I may just finish my thought. I appreciate you calling on me, but I don't know what the board or any library employees have done with lawyers this fiscal year or last, so I would be nothing but guessing. So I apologize.
I can only tell you how much, the bill, what I saw was $350 an hour for a billable rate, that's 3,500 gives you 10 hours. I can give you the data for it, but my opinion as to how much you should spend, that's, I think, more of a board decision than you can have about that.
I think it needs to be controlled, and I think that we shouldn't raise it too much on this year, on this year's budget. So I would, I think the 1,200's not realistic, but, I guess I would feel uncomfortable going any more than the 5,000. Nancy?
Quite frankly, in this current climate, and we have a lot that's, been in front of our attorney, changes in our personnel policy, changes in our bylaws, a variety of other things that we've needed some legal guidance on. I quite frankly think that we should boost this up to 7,500. But that's just my personal opinion.
Remember, we can choose what we think is
And
comfortable,
that's exactly right.
and the budget committee can come back to us and talk to us.
That's right.
But,
But, if you do the math, you're right, Caitlin.
I don't think 7,500 is outrageous at all.
I don't either. Divided by $350 an hour, there you go, 21 hours.
Patrick?
If I may ask one more question, we're in October. You do have an idea of your run rate so far this fiscal year. You would know better than anyone else, you the members of this board, whether the run rate so far is expected to continue throughout the year, or whether issues will be put to bed.
Resolved, yeah. And that's our hope. But by the same token, I think that, that we still have to fund, and we have to try to fund at an appropriate amount that, that we're not tripling and quadrupling, things. So we need to be conscious of what we're spending, but we also need to be conscious that we're sticking in the budget. And if we budget too low,
Well, precisely right, and again, I think that it's good in order to protect our library to be prepared. I mean, let's just say for the sake of discussion that we had a very sizable, legal issue that comes up later in the year that costs us more than $5,000, then what do?
someone could fall and be injured, and your $5,000 is gone like that. Exactly.
Although
So-
we do have insurance.
So that's,
We do have insurance,
Oh, okay.
but,
Madam Chair?
it's true.
Yes.
I just wanna say, my number was just based on what has previously been in that line. I just was using that number, I have
Oh, okay.
I have
Oh,
no
the
real knowledge
1,200.
of what, the costs would be essentially. So that's where I was coming from with the
Okay.
1,200, that's what was previously in that line prior years. But certainly the board
Yeah.
can do whatever they'd like.
I would make a motion that we increase this line item to $7,500 and make every effort to stay within it, but.
Second.
Maura?
No,
Beth Markle, yes.
Shan McLaughlin, unfortunately, yes.
Helen Palmieri, unfortunately, yes.
Regrettably, yes.
Nancy
Liz
Thomas,
Thomas.
regrettably, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, one moment,
Are you
please.
doing your magic, Jan?
Well, I know about magic. I'm trying to do these scribbles with those scribbles equals those scribbles.
So I got a number, Jan, and we can compare when you get your number.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody else wants to add.
I got a number too.
What would you come up with?
All right.
I'll let somebody else go first.
We can play Price is
I
Right.
got a,
I'll say my number.
Okay, go say your number.
1705471.
That is different than what I got, so I'm wondering where I screwed up.
Say yours again,
Okay,
Erin.
hold on.
Oh, you know what? I wonder if I might have not been using the right. No, I thought it was the right salary. Maybe I messed up.
would you say they'll judge this one copy done?
1705471. But that may not be correct.
4 0
We're playing Price is Right.
We use the default that
Yes.
Justin provided for both part-time and full-time salaries, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That puts us above last year.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Well, that's what happens.
And then the tuition reimbursement is
44.
management services. Oh, I did add you. No, that's okay. I skipped over the now, but.
Don't tell me you missed a whole page.
No, I didn't now. I'm double checking myself and now I'm starting over, so. I did it.
Yeah, I forgot to hit the plus sign a couple times.
Oh.
God,
that'll
ladies
do
are
it.
able to knit and do all kinds of stuff. This is a very unusual meeting.
My sleeve is gonna be much shorter than I thought it would be.
You know what? Next time,
No, I'm running out of time.
next time, I hope you don't even have time to do a sock.
Toe, a toe.
A t-
Well, that takes me 15 minutes.
Sure. Change the management.
Got to add those other numbers in.
I think I had predicted 8:30, so.
Oh, wait, and then but I can do that, okay.
something in twice.
Got the same number when I did it a second time around.
1705, no. 1705.
1705, 471.
471, yep. Okay.
Do you remember that?
I got two, so I knew I had added something in twice. Oh, there it is, right there. $70,000. So what was the number you got, Aaron?
1705, 471. Even.
I assume that is correct. I haven't added mine up at another time.
Kate, what you got?
I got 1686, 110, which is why I'm wondering,
Do we wanna just go down the
line by
numbers?
line, let's go, yep. What
So,
kind of salaries?
so salaries, I have 707,974.
Same,
Part-time 406,057.
yep,
Tuition, oh, I'm sorry, no, we gotta do the other things. So that's part-time, then we've got 5955 for life insurance.
yep,
69,435 for FICA.
yep,
16,239 for Medicare.
yep,
Retirement is 90,104.
yep,
Tuition is 4770.
yep,
Workers' comp 2040.
yep.
Management 21,347.
Hang on just a second.
That's a combined.
Because what I did is I just pulled over these, so.
And
Mm,
if I'm
No.
rolling that, someone tell me if I'm rolling any.
no, it should be 25.
184,
Ah, that might be where we.
yep.
Sorry, 25.
184 for the two.
184.
Okay, do we want to keep going?
Yep.
Just
Yep.
to be sure. Okay, custodial I had 31,201.
Yep,
Electric was 41,418.
I had 43,000.
Yep, 43.
43. I'm really messed up.
That's okay, we're getting there.
Sorry about that. Heat and oil is 2131.
I have 16,680.
Yep,
So do I.
Yep.
yep.
I really.
Terrible,
paying
change the
attention.
numbers around.
Well, the problem is I was right.
Multiple
I had
Yes, I know.
some changed and some didn't on this sheet. Okay. Water was 4266.
No.
No, 4407.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, sorry. Printing 5659.
Yep,
Yeah, she gets one. Dues and subscriptions 8395.
yep,
And that's combined with the library consortium, which is 47911.
yep,
Seminars and workshops 2000.
yep.
1 minute, Jen has a
Sorry,
question.
am I wrong?
Those two lines combined was
The line,
56,
yeah,
306.
56,
Yes.
306, yeah.
Didn't we add the 4,000? Did we add 4,000 to that?
No.
Okay, so just 56,306.
Yes.
306.
Yes.
Too many numbers.
Yep.
So we're up to travel, I have 1,500.
Yep,
General expenses, 7,500.
yes,
Office supplies, 11,099.
yes,
Postage, 2,000.
yes,
Maintenance and repairs, 25,000.
yes,
Books and electronic, we combined them to be 141.
yes,
Machine equipment, 1,000.
yes,
Furniture, 2,500.
yes.
Adult programming was 2,870, but did we add that to?
All the programming.
All the
is-
programming
Yep.
was up, yep,
So that, then the legal was, we said 75.
yep.
And you got what number?
1,686,110.
1,686.
86110.
I like, that's better than mine, so it's lower.
I like
1686, I'm
So
sorry.
that's.
1686.
1,686,110.
It's like two
I
Thank
think,
you.
I think that's off. Because we increased quite a number of items and.
I read everything I thought we
Direction.
increased.
The
I
big
know.
thing was the part-time salaries. Jan, you said 412, and Erin, you said 413, but the default was 406. So that's a difference of
$7,165. So that's probably what, that difference between the default and Erin and both Jan's recommended budget, because that was lower than what they had estimated. Even though we increased some of the expenses, we didn't increase them up to the $7,165 difference, so.
Well, I had for that line.
What do you
that
have?
was the default.
Mm-hmm.
That was the default, was 3.5
No, the default was, are you talking for part-time?
part-time, yeah.
The default was 406,057. That's off the blue paper?
Yep.
Or the blue ones?
What we can do, we can accept this as voted, not talking about the total, and maybe tomorrow.
Well, no, we have to vote on the total.
Okay, well,
Yeah, we have
okay.
to present a total.
I just wanted to add, if I did the math correctly, compared to this fiscal year, that is a increase of 4.04%.
It's not terrible.
You think we need to start, again, three of you comparing the same numbers? You know what?
This year can add in the legal, and we've not.
I'm sorry, what?
This includes legal, which we didn't even have last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not that. We have to come up with the real total.
So do we want to,
Before we can vote.
could go by each line and make sure we all have the same for that line. Jan, are you prepared to do that, or do you want to
Yep,
do it
I can do
differently?
that, I just have to, yep, go ahead,
Okay.
just go a little slower
So,
than you
and
did last
I'm
time.
sorry, I will. So if anybody has, if I'm wrong on anything, somebody tell me. So I have full-time, I have 707,974.
Yep,
Okay. Part-time, 406,057.
yep,
Life insurance, 5,955. FICA, 69,435.
Yep.
Medicare, 16,239. I'm sorry,
One
retirement.
minute, Jen. are you
hold
up?
it,
Is that where we're-
Medicare was 16,239, okay, thank you,
No problem. Are you ready for me to go forward?
maybe?
Maybe.
I'm up to
I could see she was losing it this way.
I'm up to retirement, so whenever you're ready.
Okay, I
Uh,
might need one of those little ones. to count.
Retirement is 90,104.
Yep,
Tuition reimbursement was 4,770.
yep,
Workers' comp, 2,040. And then management services is 25,184.
yep,
Okay. We're down at custodial services, which is 31,201.
yep,
Okay, electric, I had 43,000.
yep,
Heat was 16,680. Water was 4,407. Printing was 5,659. And then we combined the dues and library consortium, and that came to 56,306. And then seminars and workshops was 2,000. Alrighty. Travel and mileage was 1,500.
yep,
General expenses is 7,500. Office supplies, $11,099. Postage, 2,000. Maintenance and repairs, 25,000. Well, we combine the books and electronics section to 141,000. Machine and equipment is 1,000. Furniture, fixtures, 2,500. And then all the programs were, that got counted in already, right?
Good, yeah.
Sorry, my fault, I did that again. And then legal was 7,500. Yep, we got Kate's number.
1686110.
Bingo.
All right. Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve a budget of $1,686,110 for fiscal year 27 at this juncture.
Second.
Second track.
Maura,
Yes.
Yes, Button.
Jan McLaughlin, yes.
Helen Palmieri, yes.
Liz Thomas, yes.
Nancy Hendricks, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Madam
That
Chair,
was a great
I
job.
recommend.
You didn't vote?
Yes.
Did you not vote, Liz?
I think she did.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, I
yes.
didn't hear you. My
Yeah,
apologies.
yeah.
Madam Chair, I make a recommendation that we adjourn.
What, can I just ask a quick question before we do that? Who's gonna send this to finance or the town, like, how is that going to work?
Why can't you, she should do it, shouldn't she?
I can certainly do it, I can make these updates as recommended by the board and send it, I'll include the board if that's what the board wants.
That's fine.
Fine.
Yeah, okay, that's
Thank
great.
you,
I did
Thank
tell
you,
Sean that we would turn it in tomorrow.
I will do that tomorrow.
Thank you.
By consensus, would we all agree?
Yes, yeah,
Thank you, Erin.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I
thank you.
will include the board on that email,
Yeah,
if that's
Thank you.
acceptable. Does everybody want an updated
Yes.
version of mine to
Yes.
put
that
in
would
their
be
mailboxes?
perfect, yes. Thank you.
So I would second the treasurer's motion to adjourn.
Yeah, okay. Everyone in agreement?
Aye.
Yay!
Nicely done, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, everyone. Patrick and Kate, I want to particularly
thank
thank
you.
you very, very much.